This is the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.
Welcome on into the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase, live from Lexington Christian Academy. I'm Peyton Hinkle.
And I'm Tyler Molino. So glad to have you with us on this first day of the high school football season, Peyton. Today's finally here.
It is finally here, and we were here dark and early before the sun came up.
There was still rain coming down a little bit.
There was a little bit of drizzle. We had the fog, but hey, we were kicking off game day. Home Team Friday Nights kickoff, how we do it every Friday at 8 o'clock, and it was so much fun. We were getting the kids hyped, and really, they were hyping us up.
They were bringing the caffeine for sure, even though we didn't have any coffee. But Peyton, we got two amazing games tonight. Kicking off at the bottom of the hour, we start with Bryan Station in South Warren.
Yeah, and Bryan Station and South Warren, they're both out here over our shoulders right now, getting things ready. Let's start with the home team, Bryan Station, this evening.
The Defenders representing Lexington in this matchup. JT Haskins is maybe the biggest storyline here. He's been with the program for a long time. He played here. He went to Louisville, and now he's back leading his alma mater. This is something that we've seen many a times where when a coach comes back to coach his alma mater, it brings a different energy, and we're seeing it right now behind us.
Yeah, and we also have South Warren. They're warming up over our shoulders as well, getting ready. I talked to their coach just a little bit earlier in the week, and they have that mentality like most teams do to win a state championship every year. That is their end goal there. They have one state title in Class 4A, two titles in Class 5A, and in 2025, this is their first year competing in Class 6A. So that competition gets a little bit tougher, but they think they are ready for it and ready to handle it. Caden York is a returning starter for the team. He's a leader. He's an improved player according to coach, and plays running back and safety. Jake Carter is also returning. He was their leading receiver last year. And Cam Page, this will be his first year as the starting QP because they lost their starter. He was starting for 3 of the past years, and he just graduated. So they are ready for that, and they anticipate some mistakes this game because it is early, as most teams do, but I think they are hoping to get the big win tonight.
Hopefully having a new quarterback doesn't psych him out too much under the lights on TV. You never know how it plays, but he's got a good group around him. But this is not the only game we're talking about. 8:30 LCA taking on North Hardin.
Yes, it's going to be exciting. The first game under the Friday night lights here at LCA Stadium, and I think they're ready to go for it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's talk about their head coach, though, Oakley Watkins. This is his first year as head coach. He is former offensive coordinator. He's been with the program for 12 seasons overall here at LCA. He says this is not a big transition for him. You know, he worked under Coach Doug Charles, and he tells me that they talk every single day, and Coach Charles is still on the coaching staff.
Nice
here
having that mentor.
Yeah, as the team manager. So he's ready to go. He says this year, though, he has to be a little bit more involved in the defense and in those specialty positions than he has been, but he's still ready to call some plays this year as well. He did say they plan to throw the ball a lot more than they have in past years. You know, with Saxton Howard, the run game was really what they focused on. This year they plan to throw it, and they also have 2 quarterbacks that will be playing this season. Carter Penix will be that primary QB with Nash Wayland. He's a sophomore. He'll also be on the defensive side of the ball as well.
It'll be interesting to see as the game gets close towards the end who they go with. If they go with the guy with the hot hand, or do they stick to the game plan of we're going to run out one quarterback at this time, we're going to run out another quarterback at the other time.
And that's the thing. This early in the year, you just really never know. So we'll have to see what happens.
And they're taking on a team in North Hardin that is well experienced. They got a lot of senior leadership at key positions. Your offensive line, your defensive line, and your quarterback. I want to talk about Ronald Luntz, though. A receiver to watch. This guy can go up and get the football and make plays in open space. They do have a fair amount of returning talent as well, but this is a team that's very balanced. That's what they try to do. They try to win the game in the trenches, both on the offensive line and the defensive line, and they got a head coach with 25 years of coaching experience. You can't teach experience, and he's got a lot of it.
Yeah, and coach actually at North Hardin told me to shout out our very own Allie Root. He said to tell her hello. So hello, Allie, from your old stomping grounds out there at North Hardin.
And he probably knows the guy up in the booth who we'll hear from a little bit later, Andre Woodson, who played at North Hardin.
North Hardin also came and played at the University of Kentucky. We're excited to have him on the call alongside our Paul Jones and Colby Wilson. So we'll hear from them in a little bit coming up. But hey, Tyler, again, we said it at the beginning. This is the day we've been waiting for. It is a beautiful August evening out here.
Thank you and the Weather Authority team for making this happen.
Yes, but we have much more coming up pregame, including we had the opportunity to host LCA's pep rally earlier this afternoon. Plus, we're going to have their principal join us here on set just to talk about how special this opportunity is for their school. And then coming up a little bit later, we have another special guest. Stay with us. More from the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase pre-game show coming up on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
This is the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.
Welcome back into the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase. Hey, Tyler and I had the opportunity to go inside to Lexington Christian Academy's gymnasium this afternoon and host their big pep rally ahead of football season, Tyler.
It was the first time we ever done something like this. In the actual school, not on live on TV, and it was so much fun. The kids brought so much energy. We had some great competition and great performances.
It was a lot of fun. Of course, those games, I think my favorite was the Head, Shoulders, Knees Cup.
We had
that
to,
was
had
a
to
lot
step
of fun.
in and play a little bit. Who let that happen?
We did have to play a little bit, and our next guest had to step in and play a little bit.
She almost won.
I know she did. And it's funny, though, because she had to go up against one of the seniors, and she is the principal. Of course, we're joined now today by Dr. Cassandra Kett here of Lexington Christian Academy, high school principal. Let's just start. What does this event mean to you guys? I mean, your students are getting a lot of publicity, getting to be broadcasted on television. It has to be a lot of fun for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The kids, you could feel it in the air today. You could feel the excitement. This is a great event. We're so excited to be able to host this. We love Fox Team. You guys have been great with us, and so just thank you so much. It means a lot.
Well, thank you. We're excited to be here.
Cassandra, this is the start of a new school year as well. Talk to me about and talk to us about the excitement that's been up and down the halls, not just for today, but for the new school year as well.
Yeah, it's obviously the first couple weeks of school is always a lot of fun. The kids are getting back into the routine. You know, they've been on summer break, and getting them back into the routine is always a little rough, but it's been a great first week of school. We've been back for a week and a half now, so we're really excited.
Make sure everyone remember how to do PEMDAS and all that.
Yeah, right.
So, football season, team's looking pretty good this year. New head coach, what are you most looking forward to for your athletes this year?
You know, I just want them to come out and be safe and have a good time. They have been gifted with talent, and so we want that to be on display tonight, and obviously we want to win.
That's a good message.
That's a great
there.
message.
We want to win, yeah.
We'd be remiss to mention the partners that you all have here at LCA. You have it on your shirt, ecampus.com being one of them. What does it mean to have so much community support from a number of different organizations and just people in this community?
Yeah.
So community involvement is such a big part of who we are as a school. So when we can partner with eCampus, we can partner with you all. It's just great. That's what we want to do.
For sure. Well, Cassandra Kett, you are the principal here at LCA's high school. Thank you so much for joining us on the pregame. We got another special guest, though, coming up, right, Tyler?
That is right. Should we tell him? Should we tell him?
Should we tell him?
I think we should.
Okay, Mitch Barnhart, UK's athletics director, had a conversation with us yesterday ahead of this matchup. We'll talk to him on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
That was phenomenal.
This is the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.
Welcome on back into the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase pregame show. I'm Tyler Melito. He's Peyton Hinkle. We're so excited to have you here with us. We have games coming up in a little bit, but Peyton, we got another special guest to talk to.
We do. We had the opportunity yesterday to sit down with UK Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart. Funny enough, his daughter, Kirby, is the athletic director here at Lexington Christian
Like father,
Academy.
like daughter.
Yes, he told us he wasn't sure why she chose to go into it after he's been in it for so long, but hey, they were a great family. We had a great conversation with him, so take a listen.
Young people in a position to be on television, have a chance to have relatives and friends see them perform. It is a different feel when you're on the stage of something like this, to have an opportunity to showcase your skills in front of everyone like that. And so it's really special. I think it gives great emphasis to the competition of sport and gives an opportunity for young people to experience winning and losing and what that feels like and how to handle all of those pieces. And then I think from a community perspective, it galvanizes people and brings people together and in a really, really cool way, and sort of kicks off the year and gets everybody's excitement going. So I think it's great.
And you mentioned the excitement that comes with game day, especially on the University of Kentucky campus throughout the course of the year. How important is it for the university and the athletics department to connect with the local community any way they can, aside from game days?
Yeah, no, I think it's super important. I think, you know, as we think about it from an institutional perspective, from Kentucky's perspective, I would say arguably the fan bases are growing older in college, you know, so I think gathering that younger set of fans and bringing them into the sports that we all love, having an opportunity to gather them up and let them begin to experience at a younger age, and they build in. You know, we always talk about generational things, and these are things we're trying to grow generationally. It's not something that we just snap our fingers and say, hey, the next set of fans are here, you know. And so I think from a fan base perspective, super important. From a participation perspective, super important.
And speaking of those opportunities, what advice would you have as being someone who works in college athletics for a high school kid out there who wants to play at the next level? What advice would you have?
Yeah, you know, having been a parent of a high school kid who wanted to play college sports, you know, I mean, you know, you say it is about their opportunity, and it is about their chance to enjoy it and learn it and trust it. I think what happens a lot of times is I've been in this thing I've been in AD for almost 30 years now, and I watch it and I think the process gets messed up. And I think a lot of times what happens is people want to get to the end result and they want to say, how do I get to be that athlete? Well, I'll just start here. Well, the process starts on the front end, and we always tell our athletes it is about having character of the heart, having right hearts for what you're doing. It's a pure heart. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. You have to be thinking right things and doing right things and taking care of yourself the right way. You have to have an integrity about the way you conduct yourself, and a passion for truth, and that's important. So you put those two people, and you got really good people to start with. The third one is you have to have a knowledge. I tell people all the time, there's three kinds of knowledge. There's book smart, street smarts, and sports smarts. And to be an elite level athlete, you probably have to have a couple of those, right? And then the fourth thing, you got to be really sacrificial and good steward of what you got, your time and your talent. And the last thing is you have to have a competitive heart. You know, winning is, Coach Pope says, it is about winning. Yeah, that's true. You have to learn how to win with great class and lose with humility, and understand you grow off of that. And so I would say to young people that are pursuing, dream big dreams. But at the end of the day, keep the process, go through the process. And if you get to the end of number 5 right there, that competitive heart, you got to compete. Those things will lead you to where you need to be in sport. And I think that's sort of true of life. But I do believe in the folks that we've seen be successful in college athletics have come out of high school. It is those people that have, and you hear coaches say, oh, keep the process the process. There's truth in that. I think sometimes when we get it messed up, that's when there's problems.
You know, Tyler, it was a great conversation with Mitch. Unfortunately, we talked for about 15 minutes on camera, and we had to cut it down. So there's so much more, and we're going to try to get that up on our website, that full conversation.
In the next coming days, and we're going to give a quick shout-out to Chief Photographer Noah Locker for shooting that interview, Mitch Barnhart for his time. It was very interesting to see someone who we've seen in the public light at press conferences and things like that. This felt like a much more personal conversation, and it really got to get the chance to know him. And I hope you all got the chance of that as well.
Yeah, and he really got to shine that light on how important high school and youth sports in general are for those kids as they grow up and as they transition into the college level. I mean, that's most kids' dream that play on a field like this, is to move up to that next level. And they've had several from here at LCA and really all the schools
at all
we have
four,
played move on to the next level.
Yeah, and we'll see that passion tonight during our 2 games. If you're just joining us at 5:30, we have Bryan Station taking on South Warren. Then at 8:30, around or so, depending on the timing, you'll have LCA taking on North Hardin. We'll get more pregame analysis in a moment. But Peyton, What are you most excited for this season?
This season, I mean, it's something you and I feel like we do best. Home team Friday nights kickoff. We were out here bright and early this morning. Every Friday, 8 a.m., we're kicking off game day, going to all sorts of different local schools all across the viewing area to bring out their students, showcase their students. I mean, we talk to the football teams, the marching bands, the cheer and dance squads, a little bit of everybody, even the student sections.
We've had other sports come out as well, and that's always really, really fun. And like you just mentioned, that's what I'm looking forward to as well. It gives us energy. It makes our week so much better.
It just gives us something to look forward to every week because we know the viewers love it. You at home love when we get to go out to all the local schools and visit your community. And I think the kids love it too, but we always have a great time.
Well, maybe that's because they get to miss a little bit of class, but I don't know. We'll be coming to a school near you, hopefully this season, whether it be for football or later on in basketball. But Peyton, our time is done, sadly.
Our time is done until halftime. I'm Peyton Hinkle. That's Tyler Melito. But you know who's joining us up in the booth? We have Paul Jones, we have Andre Woodson, and we have Colby Wilson. Guys, we'll send it up to you.
Hey there, guys. Yes, well, I am Colby Wilson, joined by morning anchor Paul Jones and UK legend Andre Woodson. So happy to be with you all, and I feel like the honor is mine being alongside the both of you, so super excited to have you with me here tonight. We're going to talk about Andre's historic career, but first we'll get into the matchups here, of course, starting with Bryan Station and South Warren. Paul, you've done a lot of research on this team, the local team, Bryan Station. What can you say about them going into this matchup?
Well, Colby, it was a pleasure to talk to head coach J.T. Haskins during the week leading up to this opening game matchup against South Warren. And it's interesting because Coach Haskins is elevated from defensive coordinator to the head coaching position after Philip Hawkins left in the offseason to take over the Henry Clay program. And this is a Bryan Station team that's coming off a 7-5 season, returning 3 offensive starters and 4 defensive starters. But we'll see how things play out. It's going to be an interesting transition for Coach Haskins. And one of the interesting things he said during our pregame visit via Zoom was he was trying to keep it a secret. Didn't want his players to know that this game was going to be on television. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, Coach. They probably figured it out by now.
Absolutely, and I think the good thing about Haskins is he did go to Bryan Station, so he bleeds green and gold through and through. So if anyone's set for the job, it is certainly him. And Andre, transitioning over to you, South Warren out of Bowling Green. What have you liked about that squad so far?
Yeah, well, they look incredibly good right now. They went from a 12-2 season last year. They're making a transition from quarterback from a 3-year starter now to a 1-year starter. We'll be fascinated to see how he makes that transition. Obviously, he has a lot of skill sets, tons of ability. They're going to have a lot of talent across the board. So I think this is going to be a very telling opportunity for them to create that identity, and then we'll obviously see what they look like for the rest of the season.
And it may help their first-year quarterback because their head coach, Brandon Smith, was a quarterback himself at Western Kentucky University, so he certainly knows the position well.
Definitely. Well, Andre, of course, we have to get over to you. I know you're more of a quiet guy, but we got to give you some credit here. To have you alongside of us is so awesome. Your career at UK Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP. Well, first of all, also welcome back to Lexington. You said you hadn't been here in a while. What's it like to be back?
It's incredible. Yeah, I'm really thrilled to be back here, obviously back in Lexington. To kick off the 2025 high school season. This is remarkable. What an incredible atmosphere that we have here today, and so it's really exciting.
One of the things I found funny was we put a request into the University of Kentucky video department to say, hey, could you send us on over some Andre Woodson highlights, if you don't mind? And short time later, we had 25 minutes worth of Andre Woodson highlights.
Of course, absolutely. Andre, kind of talk about your career here a little bit. Obviously, Big Blue Nation, that's a fan base like no other.
Yeah, it's an amazing fan base. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. No matter where we traveled across the country, they would fly in flocks. And so, incredible fan base, obviously super passionate, rich history here, specifically with the UK football team. And so it's amazing to come back home and visit and obviously see some of the fan base that's here today. But several people have already recognized me saying, hey, Andre, welcome home, and et cetera. So it's really gratifying to be back. And again, super excited about today's event.
And in more ways than one, this is a homecoming for you because not only the Lexington connection, but your alma mater is going to be in action in the second game.
Right, North Hardin. Can you talk about them a little bit? How you got to be excited. I mean, you're not biased, of course, going into it with this, but you got to be a little excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't seen North Hardin play in almost 2 decades, so this is the first opportunity I get to see them firsthand. And again, they're a super exciting team. They're going to be a little younger. They're making a lot of different changes with their roster, but they present a lot of mismatches, and so it'll be exciting to see how they sort of present themselves against Lexington Christian Academy, and it's going to be a great event, and that'll be following this one.
We tried our best, by the way, to get a senior photo from Andre at North Hardin. He didn't have one, he said. I think that was awfully convenient based on the way he described his look back then.
Absolutely. I want to get your perspective real quick. You know what these guys are about to go through. First game of the season. How do they go through a process like this?
Yeah, well, they've been training all off season. They're super anxious. They're nervous. They're ready to get out there and perform. Obviously, an incredible atmosphere here. Perfect conditions for a football game. So it's going to be quite the event. Obviously, we'll get a chance to see it now.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be back up here at the booth, but for now, we're going to send it down for the national anthem.
And now, in honor of all the men and women defending our freedom, please stand, remove your hats, and face the flag for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Lexington Christian Academy's chorus director, Daniel Wesley, and members of the Mixed Chamber Choir.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran glad, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, well, we're going to get into starting lineups here, Paul. I think you got going to get us going with our starters for Bryan Station.
That's right. We'll put them up on the screen here shortly.
What do you
We have the coin flip first, I believe. Okay, here we go. C.J. Carpenter. Full name is Colson, by the way, in case you're curious, is number 17. He'll be the starting quarterback for the Defenders. Right behind him in the offensive backfield is Kerwin Montgomery. He wears number 24. Kamani Barber, number 4, one of the wideouts, and then a couple of Bradens also getting their action in at the wideout position, Braden Wilson and Braden Payne. The starting tight end is Michael Syens. Let's get down to the field for the opening coin flip. Fox 56's Justin Logan, one of the people down there for the festivities.
Take the ball. Put your backs over here.
You're not telling me when to go. Who have won the toss. Paul, I'll kind of talk about it with you. What do you think this team has to do going into this big matchup against South Warren to come out on the other end of it?
Well, I think this opening week is going to be a chance for coaches to feel out their teams, and I think, Andre, you'd probably agree with this. They have a sense of what they have, but they don't necessarily know, and this is going to be the first good chance to go up against another opponent to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Bryan Station has a history of tradition and double-digit wins. Last year, obviously, didn't pan out the way they wanted with 7-5 record. So they made a change in with the new head coach, Haskins. So I think, offensively, they need to become well-balanced and, be a threat through the air. Last year, they were a one-dimensional team with running. And then defensively, they'll need to control the trenches and really establish pressure in the backfield to be effective this season. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop this year and kind of create their own identity.
JT Haskins, by the way, Colby was talking in our midweek conversation about what the difference is between being the defensive coordinator and being elevated to head coach. Obviously, he still has his hands very involved in the defense, keeping that role, but now he has to worry about all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. Right,
and you kind of alluded to my next point. I'm interested in knowing, when you're already a defensive-minded coach and you come into a game, how much emphasis are you really paying attention to the defense? Obviously, all three phases, offense and special teams, but do you think he's out there probably honing in a little more on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, anyone that has a defensive-minded approach to the game certainly is going to be, hyper-focused on that throughout the game. And, it's really it's a instrumental, aspect of the game. Really want to make sure that you're controlling field position. You're allowing the team to, not get big plays and really try to sustain chain movement instead of, allowing them to just throw deep balls. And I think, it'd be really fascinating to see how he approaches the game now that he has obviously a hyper focus on the defensive side. Will he do really good with, situational awareness, game management, how he kind of focuses on all aspects of tonight's event. So it'll be really interesting to see how that develops.
And I'm also very interested on South Warren's side of things. They do have starting quarterback Cam Page, who we've talked about, but interesting enough, he was actually a wide receiver last year and then moved to QB. What does that look like? You go from a skill player to then you get the guy kind of controlling everything.
Well, from my point of view, it's going to be pretty challenging. So I am actually interested to see how Cam Page sort of adjusts as a new year quarterback. And how South Warren's going to use his athleticism to complement their system. I had a chance to watch him throw the football out there, and I mean, naturally, he spins that thing really well. It looks really great, and so I think he will have the ability to truly thrive in this system. But again, it really just depends on what type of play calling and positions in terms of skill sets they put around him, and really try to contribute. Really complement his ability.
We are just about to get set for the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase. Bryan Station kicking off. And it goes to Kamani, nope, not Kamani Barber, number 4 for South Warren with the return right there. That was Chris Taylor taking it out beyond the 20-yard line, I guess it is.
The great thing with, South Warren, outside of the 1 year, for nearly, 10 consecutive years, they've had double-digit wins. And so this program has been absolutely dominant as it's climbed divisions from 3A to, now 6A. I don't suspect they'll switch gears anytime soon, but it'll be interesting to see how they continue to thrive with this new system.
Cam Page, the 6'2", 180-pound signal caller, starting off in shotgun position, takes the snap. Play action, and Page is looking deep downfield. He has a wide receiver right there, wide open for the big gain. That is Jake Carter, the team's leading receiver from a season ago, and already on the very first play from scrimmage in 2025, making a difference.
What's amazing about that play right there for Cam Page is the snap is obviously off. The first time starting, he could have been flustered, but instead he kind of composes himself, finds open receiver, takes his time, and throws a really beautiful pass down the sideline.
Spartans are already inside the Bryan Station 30-yard line. Quick play, but before the play can be made, there's a whistle.
Looks like we got a offsides on the defense. Again, I just want to emphasize on that pass from Cam Page. I mean, he's been working all off season. He's a transition from receiver to quarterback, first-year starter. First play they throw, they say, let's take a shot down the field. I mean, typically you would want to give a screen or like a really easy pass to get him settled in, and no. Instead, they take a shot down the field, and he throws a gorgeous ball. So
play action right there by Page, taking the handoff to Caden York, QB keeper, and picks up some nice yardage up the middle.
And the thing that we'll have to remember is he is a dual threat. So he has the ability to use his legs as well as his arms. So it's going to really put a lot of stress on the defense to make sure that they're super sound.
No huddle offense, but they're certainly going to take their time before they snap this football. Page joined in the offensive backfield by Caden York, who just had that faked handoff just a short moment ago. We'll see what happens on this play. It is South Warren on the move, up the middle for not much gain right there.
The thing that'll be kind of interesting now that we see they're doing a check with me. Basically, they do a quick snap, try to get the defense to show their, concept or what type of scheme they're in, and then from there, the offense coordinator is able to make adjustments. The question is, will Bryan Station then reactively make adjustments with them to make sure that they're not showing their hand and giving them the ability or advantage in those play calling situations? So that'll be very interesting as the game continues to evolve.
2nd down and 6 from the Bryan Station 19-yard line. Cajun shotgun once again, flings it out to the side right there for another nice gain. It appears another first down for the Spartans.
Again, really simple concepts here. Gives him a chance to set his feet, throw a quick pass towards the sideline. I really like what the offensive coordinator is doing right here. Just kind of setting the tone, making sure that the quarterback's not overthinking his progressions, gives him quick options, and allows him to just really do what he does best and just put the ball on the receiver.
That receiver, by the way, Clay Helton, bringing it in for his first catch of the game. 1st and 10 now for the Spartans. Page once again, this time hands it off to York, who churns up the middle. Not much gain right there. I certainly like York's game overall.
Yeah, you got a little power concept there, so it's nice to see that they're showing in various formations. The thing that Bryan Station's going to have to be really good here is, I think the second level with the linebackers are going to be super aggressive and shoot those gaps. As soon as they recognize it's run, they need to fill it in and try to be explosive at the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 10 from the 9-yard line. Pitch right there to Tucker Sears, and Sears is in for the touchdown. 9-yard touchdown run for Tucker Sears, and South Warren gets the first points of the season with the touchdown run right there.
Watching this team last year, the one thing I thought was really cool to watch was just how creative offensively the play calling was to sort of manage, different scenarios and put a lot of stress on secondaries by putting like DBs on an island. And right there, I mean, you're going to see various formations, a lot of different concepts. They're going to really try to, camouflage a lot of different looks. So the fact that they just ran a reverse counter on the 5-yard line is a pretty interesting decision. So I'm fascinated to see how they continue to call those down the line.
The extra point up and good, and it is 7-0. South Warren on top with 9:26 to go in the first quarter here live from Lexington Christian Academy. This is the Fox 56 home team showcase. Colby, not bad. 1 drive, 1 touchdown.
Not bad at all. And I wanted to add in, they return every skill player. And Andre, you talked about them kind of from the jump. Already, Cam Page already throwing some passes. Do you think that's because they're heavily relying on their skill players in knowing, hey, all these guys have a bunch of experience?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a bunch of veterans on the team, and all you need to do is make an adjustment for one critical, obviously important position on the field. But as long as you have those different players in place, yeah, I think that makes it incredibly easy for the quarterback. And you can be very confident in just putting him in a position where he can be successful by putting in the player's hands in space. And so, again, kudos to the coaching staff for recognizing that and making those play calls early.
Here's the ensuing kickoff. It's a short kick, received at the 29-yard line, and Bryan Station's going to have very good field position after that. Let's revisit the starting lineup now, this time for the Bryan Station Defenders. As mentioned, number 17 is their quarterback, C.J. Carpenter. He has Kerwin Montgomery behind him in the backfield. Kamani Barber, one of the wide receivers, along with a couple of Bradens. Braden Wilson and Braden Payne. Michael Syons is the starting tight end. 1st and 10 from the Bryan Station 31-yard line. See what C.J. Carpenter has up his sleeve. The handoff early on right there, and a decent gain over the left-hand side.
Yeah, a nice little inside zone just to set the tone. You know, the thing about Bryan Station is they're lacking a lot of returning starters and experience, and so we'll see a lot about the new players this season, which will, you know, have its ups and downs and growing pains throughout the season. But it's a good way to start the series.
Carpenter with a fake right there, but not much room to go on 2nd and 4. The Spartan defense ready for that one. Let's take a look at the offensive line for the Bryan Station Defenders. Once again, well, we'll hold off on that for just a moment so we don't miss a play. It's 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 for the Defenders. Their opening drive of the 2025 season. Carpenter in shotgun, flinging it over to the right, but his receiver fell down right there. Kamani Barber was open, but couldn't keep his footing.
Yeah. It was disappointing, but that's okay. It was a good read. 11 personnel, spread offense, caught a quick hitch. That means a 5-yard stop. Had the open receiver. You know, you had a guy who falls down, and the ball's a little bit off target. Could be just jitters. But again, hey, I think that's really smart play calling by trying to get your quarterback adjusted into sort of a rhythm, and hopefully the next series they'll be able to get some points on the board.
Defenders forced to punt on their opening drive, so with 8:13 to go in the first quarter, ball will go back to South Warren. Decent punt right there. Nobody's going to field it. It rolls out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. Looks like that's where the spot is. So Spartans come back on the field for their 2nd drive, leading 7-0 with 8:07 to go in the first quarter.
Well, we can give a little bit of a shout out to, of course, Lexington Christian Academy, the host. This environment is great. We kind of talked about their facilities early on here. Just some really great facilities that they have at this high school.
Spartans begin this drive at 23-yard line, leading 7-0. Cam Page, once again, back at quarterback, though there are 2 quarterbacks who will play for them tonight. Bobbles the snap, and then the handoff's bobbled as well. Spartans lucky to not turn that one over. Maybe got a yard or 2. We're going to flash the South Warren offense now up on your screen. And as mentioned, Cam Page at quarterback. Caden York, number 2, the running back. Jake Carter wearing number 1. Tucker Sears, number 5. Justin Capps will wear 18. And Griffin Reynolds is number 12.
Yeah, I like what the offense is doing right here. You know, the first drive, they were allowing to get in the huddle. They were coming out of breaks. Now they're kind of doing a little bit more tempo. We'll see if the quarterback stays in rhythm. The decision right here is going to get up the field and try to get some yards.
He may get some yards, but it's probably coming back. We saw the yellow hanky thrown onto the field, and I have a feeling that it's probably going to go against South Warren. And that is correct. Holding on the Spartans. By the way, the white hat tonight is Joseph Ammerman. We'll see if we can get his mic working at some point tonight where we can hear him making the calls, but looked like holding was the call right there. Yep. So that sets them back. 2nd and 17 now. 7:25 to go in the first quarter.
You know, the one thing Bryan Station is going to have to do defensively is just continue to stay disciplined and really control gap integrity and don't allow them to get, you know, massive gains per play. Right now, I guarantee they're going to try to run the ball. Nope, they're going to throw a fast break. So to get their players open to space and try to pick up a couple yards, make 3rd down more manageable.
I think I could have called what was going to happen on that play. 4 wide receivers to the left, nobody to the right, and sure enough, they went to the left. Clock running as we approach the 7-minute mark now. 3rd and 17, so that last play did not do much. In fact, it did, well, actually, they gained 9 yards now. 3rd and 8 after the mark off. Page with an empty backfield. Nice job catching the snap that was a little bit low. He does complete the pass out there, but Jake Carter well short of the first down, so that's going to bring out a punting situation for the Spartans. Brian Station is going to get the ball back.
Yeah, it's a really good job by Brian Station. They were in a too high. They made sure that they kept the offensive players in front of them, didn't give up a big play, made the tackle, and now they're able to, get a turnover, or get a punt. So really good job by them, and hopefully they'll be able to capitalize now on the offensive side of the ball.
Alan Alec is the punter, by the way. Nice catch, and then take that back. That was not Alec Allen. Bad eyes, Paul. That is number 12, Griffin Reynolds. My apologies. Griffin. Make sure we get that right. We've gone just under 6 minutes now. Colby, what are your early impressions by what we've seen?
I feel like, this first quarter, team's still getting out the nervousness a little bit. You had 2 of those snaps there from South Warren. They were a little bobbly, make it hard for Cam Page a little bit back there. But I think as this game goes on, the nerves will start to settle, and hopefully they'll kind of start to settle into what they're trying to do out here.
Yeah, I agree. I think, we really need to allow the offense or the quarterback to be patient, let the game come to him. It's an incredible play call right here. Got a nice gash, about 12, 13 yards. Hopefully the offensive line continues to set the tone.
Kerwin Montgomery with that big chunk of yardage right there. So the defenders with a positive play, and they're going no huddle. We'll see if they actually snap the ball pretty quickly or talk about it for a while.
And maybe this will help the quarterback. Now you're doing a little tempo, pick up the pace, tire out that defensive line, get some vertical movement on the offensive line, and create some spaces, some gaps, and turn it back to Pearson. Try to get some good gains.
Kerwin Montgomery, he has plenty of energy at this point. First quarter, he says, give me the ball. I'll churn out a few yards, and that was another nice run for him there. Gain of 5, setting up a second and 5 from the South Warren 42-yard line.
Brian Station last year was a heavy run team. They have tons of talent across the board. I think that, the piece that's going to be super important for them is just staying balanced. But for now, they're starting to get a lot of chunks running the ball.
Play action this time, throw out to Kamani Barber, but the Spartans were ready for that one. Maybe a yard, maybe nothing at all. Looks like they gave him credit for a yard, setting up a 3rd and 4 now. Brian Station, as you see at the bottom of the screen, trailing South Warren 7-0, 4:37 to go in this first quarter. Carpenter with the running back behind him. Doesn't even play action, just fires right away, and he gets it to his tight end, Michael Syons. For the first down, Syons with the big left arm pointing to just that.
Yeah, it's a great play call. Really good decision by the quarterback. Set his feet, drove the ball, perfect accuracy and ball placement. Now they move the chains. Hopefully they can sustain the drive and generate some points.
Notice Jeremiah George, the backup fullback, has made his way onto the field. But they're also keeping Kerwin Montgomery in as well. So we'll see maybe with Jeremiah is about to put a helmet on somebody and open another big hole for Mr. Montgomery. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Tough snap right there. Carpenter lucky to get control of it right there. And at that point, he just knew to fall down. Let's not make this any worse than it possibly was already.
Yeah, both sides of the ball, the centers are having a little challenge with the accuracy of the snaps and guns. So that's something that'll have to be addressed on the sideline. The other thing I'd love to see Brian Station do is just continue to mix up the formations. And then eventually at some point they should look to do some play action. You can tell the linebackers for South Warren are being pretty aggressive filling those gaps, and I think they're going to get a chance to get to the second level.
That was a loss of 6, by the way, setting up 2nd and 16. Carpenter throwing out into the flat to number 22. A nice catch by him to get control of it and then work his way down the sideline. Avery Johnson making his first big play of the night.
At the 27-yard line.
Decent gain right there.
You love to see the quarterback just snap it on him, get him a chance to get vertical up the field. Obviously, the receiver does an incredible job making that acrobatic catch, but they getting up the field and get some yak afterwards. So really good job by the tailback.
Gained 8 on the play, setting up a 3rd and 8. Cut the down and distance in half, and we'll see if they can convert on 3rd down right here. A little bit of pressure, but then the throw is incomplete, and the Bryan Station fans are in front of us here in the stands are waving their arms. They want to see a flag, but there is no flag on the play.
Well, it's pass interference.
Was there a flag?
100%. There should have been a flag.
Yeah.
Multiple flags. I don't know what the referees were looking at, but that's all right. Sometimes the officials can't see everything on the field.
John Hannon making his way out to the field now. Here, take another look at that right there. Yeah.
He's looking for the flag.
Braden Wilson wanted the flag too, number 6. You can see him right there. He was the intended target.
Actually, the football looks like it's tipped, so therefore there is no pass interference. So actually, it's a good call. Good call.
So John Hannon comes in, and he will line up the 45-yard field goal. This is an impressive effort here, right here, if he can pull this off. Don't always see these kind of attempts in high school ball. Hannon gets his foot into it. Line drive kick, and it's good! John Hannon with the first points of the season for Bryan Station. Guys, it may not have been the prettiest looking kick, but it doesn't always have to be pretty to be effective.
Absolutely not, as long as it goes through.
3 points is 3 points. I'll take it any way I can get it.
Guys, I think it's super interesting, too. Of course, we have to talk about the JT Haskins connection with his son on the team. 3, Jordan Haskins, who is a junior. And then also he has his other son, JT Haskins, who is at University of Ohio. You have to assume that's just an awesome opportunity to be able to coach your son. And I remember talking to him before this showcase about it, and he just says he loves to see that his son goes out there and that his hard work can pay off.
Yeah, exactly. Called it a phenomenal time coaching 2 of his sons, one who's gone off to Ohio, and then, of course, Jordan, as you mentioned. Take a look at the South Warren defense. Takeon Dart, Drayson Moore, Riley Aller, Tyson Buford, Malik Butler, Jaquez Smith, he's a big kid up front, and Will Mays, number 3. Then in the defensive secondary, Joseph Fentress, Corbin Logan, Caden York playing both ways, and Isaiah Bridges wearing number 8. So it's 7-3. Bryan Station's on the board, pulling within 4 points of South Warren. And Hannon, who just had that line drive field goal from 45 yards, will now kick off. Kickoff looking good right there. And that's Chris Taylor bringing it out. Gets some decent yardage. Out to about the 28-yard line. With 3:08 left to go. First quarter, 7-3. South Warren on top, looking to extend its lead right here, but we do have an injury on the field. It's a Bryan Station player. We'll wait to see who that is.
Timeout for an injury on the field.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too serious.
You always hate to see things like this. The trainer's obviously getting out there pretty quickly to attend to him, and we'll try to make out who that is as soon as we can. The good news is he's rolled over, but then he went back down again, so they're taking their time with him. Bryan Station players kneeling, concerned.
You know, the good thing for Bryan Station right now, they just got 3 points on the board. They were able to sustain a drive. Now can they continue to build on that momentum defensively, stop them with a 3 and out, give the offense the ball back, and then put themselves in a position to potentially score again.
Exactly.
Looks like that's 13. It's getting up.
Limping right there. Hate to see that.
And the good thing is he is able to walk on his own, which is always an encouraging thing to see.
So Marion Williams, I believe, is who that is, coming off the field right there.
South Warren will take over the 27-yard line.
He is walking on his own will.
some sort of left leg injury, it appears. He'll go under the tent and be looked at a little bit further while we pick up the action once again. Cam Page still in at quarterback for South Warren. They start this drive at the 26-yard line. Again to Caden York, and York goes up the middle where he meets a wall of defenders, and I mean that literally and literally. The defenders who are defenders.
And look at JT Haskins right there, super excited about that one, and I know he is because he even mentioned before this game that the one thing he wants his defense to do is stop the run, and that's a prime example that we see right there.
And that makes sense, Colby, because, Andre, you looked at a lot of the game tape from last season, and this defender squad had a hard time stopping the run. It probably had to be very important to change that.
Yeah, it certainly does. You have to have a lot of tenacity, and this team right now is showing a lot of grit, bunch of aggression, and so as long as they continue to be full attack, trying to make plays and create some pressure on the quarterback, I think they're going to be successful.
Page turning nothing into almost something, but the call is that the ball hit the turf before it was hauled in right there by Jake Carter.
So we got holding on the offense as well.
Oh, we have a flag as well, yes. Joseph Hammerman once again. Here's the replay. Page did a nice job of corralling that ball, but then there was a reason he had enough time to throw, because it was holding on his teammates. That'll be 10-yard loss.
Holding call on South Warren is accepted by the defenders, which moves the ball back to
Good decision by the coach. Back them up 10 yards, replay second down. Hopefully they can prevent them from getting any type of big gains and then put them in an unsustainable situation for third down.
2nd and 20 from the 18. Page keeps it himself and then gets rocked. Big hit right there by Jordan Haskins. Pops loves it.
Quarterback's got to be smart here. If he's going to go through that lane, he better put that shoulder down and continue to attack. That's how you get injured.
3rd and 13 now. Minute 50 to go in the first quarter. Page and the Spartans have a little bit of work to do. Shotgun again, has time to throw, rolling to his left, flings it, and it's incomplete. Some contact there, though, but no yellow hanky.
The refs are letting them play in the secondary, so you got to adjust to the officiating. If they're going to allow them to be physical, continue to get your hands on them.
Looks like Bryan Station's defensive identity is coming out real fast here. He always talked about playing physical, and we've seen that in these last two drives.
Haskins and Kamani George back to receive. Excuse me, Kamani Barber. Sorry about that. Kamani Barber back to receive. Oop. For the snap, it looked like there was some movement from Bryan Station. The good news for them is if it is against them, it was 4th and 13, so 5-yard penalty would not hurt. Wait for the call from Joseph Hammerman. And
Bryan Station, that'll be a 5-yard penalty
against the defenders.
The great thing that we're seeing from Bryan Station, I don't think we saw a lot of from last year, just the energy on the sideline. Like the teammates are involved, the players on the field are showing a bunch of energy and enthusiasm. So continue to keep that up. I think it's really going to help them as the game progresses.
Fair catch made there by Jordan Haskins. So the ball will go back to Bryan Station. They'll start this drive at about the 34-yard line.
Andre, I'm interested in your perspective on this, just talking about being a backup quarterback can be hard. I know in South Warren they lost their 3-year starter in Bryce Button, who is now at Eastern Michigan. So for Cam Page now stepping into a starter role, how hard is it to kind of go from a backup QB to then taking that starter position in a short amount of time?
It's really challenging. You have to reestablish your identity. You have to determine what type of play calling will be super effective for that type of player. And then for him, right, he's going to have to live up to some big shoes.
Uh-oh. Got a pick.
C.J. Carpenter going over the middle, but instead slightly overthrown, and it's intercepted by Tucker Sears. South Warren Spartans now quickly take over. We got a little scuffle going on the sideline. Just for a moment. Here's the replay right here. That's on the quarterback, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 100% on the quarterback. He's throwing blindly. He's got a defender in front of him. He thinks he sees color. He's just throwing into space. So, you know, he's going to have to take some accountability there. Other than that pass, he's been pretty efficient. But again, he's just got to be a lot smarter in that situation. Take the sack or scramble and try to extend the play, but just don't throw it blindly.
So South Warren starts this drive with great field position at the Bryan Station 35-yard line, leading 7-3 with 1:20 to go in the opening quarter of the 2025 season, looking to add to that 4-point lead.
And here's the question. Are they going to take a shot now after that turnover? They got great field position.
Caden York in the backfield, play action to him, and then Page flings it to a wide open receiver by there. Jake Carter gets to the 1-yard line, I believe. Maybe the 4. Maybe the 4. Stepped out right there. I thought he was going in for the touchdown, guys.
Yeah, really creative play call. Again, you got great field position. You just got a turnover. You got tons of momentum. So how do you capitalize on that? You take a shot down the field. Now they're in the 3-yard line, going in for the end zone.
First and goal from the 3. York remains in the backfield. Page goes in motion, and then the direct snap to York. He tries to get in for the touchdown, but it looks like Bryan Station snuffed that one out and stopped him about 3 yards short.
Center's still pretty sporadic with the placement of snaps and shotgun.
Looks like JT Haskins is called a timeout. Trying to get a big defensive stop here before first quarter ends.
53 seconds to go in the first quarter. Second and goal from the 1, so it's going to take some incredible defense from the defenders to keep the Spartans out of the end zone right here.
What do you guys feel like the conversations are right now?
Don't let him score.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough. Andre, they've got a lot of weapons.
All right, we'll start your day with the Fox 56 Morning News. Join Paul Jones, Krista Spadaccini, and Chief Meteorologist Justin Logan every weekday morning from 5 to 9 a.m. for the latest headlines, weather updates, and a little fun, of course, to help you start your day. Local stories, accurate forecasts, and a team you can trust. The Fox 56 Morning News.
And the good news is, Colby, I had today off. So,
yeah, they missed you, Paul.
I'm not completely exhausted. I get to have fun here with you guys tonight instead.
That is very true. I'll take that.
So from the 1-yard line, Page tight under center, pulls the Jalen Hurts right there, sneaking it in for the touchdown.
Push, push.
Tush, push is right. That's a pretty hard play to defend, Andre.
Yeah,
I mean, where do you go about trying to stop that?
I mean, you can't defend it in the National League. You certainly can't defend it in the collegiate level. I don't even know how you defend it in the high school level. So really smart play by them just to, hey, we're on the 1-yard line, push them in. Easy touchdown.
Spartans do this interesting thing right before they kick the extra point, I've noticed. They look like they might be trying to line up for potentially going for 2, but then they back it on out and line up for the kick. But there's a stoppage in play. Not sure what that was exactly, but no specific call from Joseph Ammerman. Here's the kick again. The extra point, looking to tack on one more. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 50 seconds to go in the first quarter, South Warren extends its lead to 14-3 over the Bryan Station Defenders.
And as we all three know, you got to limit the turnover battle. Obviously, that turnover from Bryan Station didn't set them up the best, and now it's 14-3 with about 50 seconds to go left in the first quarter.
It'll be interesting to see, too, at some point if we see number 19, Chase Bell. I know Cam Page has gotten all the snaps up till now, but this is a 2 QB system. The sophomore, Chase Bell, does come in at times on maybe more passing plays is the way that the head coach, Brandon Smith, described it to us earlier in the week. So we'll see how that goes as the game unfolds.
Hey, you got to imagine Coach Smith is a little maybe more strict on his QB being a QB. Sometimes I always think those relationships are super fun to watch.
Brandon Smith in his 11th season, by the way, as the head coach of the Spartans. Spent the first 4 years as an assistant when the program started, and then his 11th season now as the head coach. So he's been with this program all 15 years of its existence. He knows the thing inside and out. And this team lost in the state semis a year ago. So that's a great success. They've won three state titles in 14 years so far for the program. Not a bad ratio right there.
Yeah, you know, I think it's always important when you bring somebody in to take over as a head coaching position that they have institutional knowledge and been sort of a part of the foundational success. So it's great to see that they hired within.
That was the kickoff to Braden Payne. Fairly average return, but he held on to it, which was nice.
Now, we talked a little bit about, for Bryan Station, how do they create success, or what's sort of the keys for success? And you know, some of those are going to be move the chains, no turnovers, generate points, and then most important, control field position. They've somewhat been able to sustain drives. They just had a big turnover. I think it's going to be really important now that they're able to create some type of opportunity offensively and get some points on the board if they want to stay in this contest the way that, you know, South Warren is moving the football.
Quick injury update on Samarian Williams, in case you're curious. Number 13 for Bryan Station went out a short time ago. He's still under the trainer's tent. Looks like he has some ice on his right ankle, lower leg area. But the trainers are not gathered around him, so it looks like it's one of those situations where they're going to see if they can potentially avoid a bunch of major swelling right there. But we'll see if he returns to the game. At this point, it's not looking real likely. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Bryan Station once again back at it on offense. Need to get something going here, trailing by 11 with under a minute to go in the first quarter. Carpenter flinging it deep. It's high in the air, and somehow it's completed.
Good job by the receiver trying to come back to the ball, making a play on it. Unfortunately, the ball was very underthrown, but still, the receiver tried to come under and catch it, and resulted in a pass interference. So they'll get 15 yards.
I guess he didn't catch it. It was hard to see there. There is definitely a flag though, so they're going to pick up a nice yardage right there. I guess how could he have caught it, right? Kamani Barber was surrounded by a bunch of Spartans.
Replay for us here. Oh yeah, got pancaked right there a little bit.
Yeah. Clock stopped once again during that flag, so 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Carpenter has Kerwin Montgomery behind him once again. Shotgun formation. This time the give to Montgomery, and there is no place to go. Will Mays was there almost before Montgomery received the ball.
Yeah, right now you can kind of see the defense is adjusting to the play calling on the offense side of the ball. They're going to have to be a little more creative. They continue to run sort of a 3-by-1. This time it's a tray formation, which means the tight end to the left and then 3 receivers to the right. They've sort of set up in that same formation multiple times now. You hope to see them do some type of play action or misdirection, but they've been pretty predictable up to this point.
That was a loss of 5, by the way. 2nd and 15 now, back at the 40-yard line.
All right, well, that's the end of the first quarter. Score 14-3, South Warren leads. We're going to head into a quick break here, and we'll have the second quarter coming up after the break.
This is the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.
It is the Bryan Station Defenders taking on the South Warren Spartans after one quarter. South Warren with a 14-3 lead, but the Defenders with the football. C.J. Carpenter trying to make this a game once again. And it looks like we have some action along the line. We'll see what the call is. What's your guess, Andre? False start?
Yeah, we got a hard snap. Trying to draw them off sides. Oh, they actually called false start on offense. They were doing a hard snap, so the offensive line shouldn't have jumped. Trying to draw them off sides just so they can get a quick 5 yards and make the second down more manageable. So just got to be more disciplined and try to avoid any mistakes.
So now we're looking at 2nd and 20. The Defenders are heading the wrong way.
Yeah, they certainly are. I'd say at this point they're either going to draw some type of screen or maybe a run, something just to generate a couple yards before they try to make third down more manageable.
Pulling out your Tony Romo there, Andre. Nice, predicting the play ahead of time. I like that.
So look, let's see what happens.
Oh, and we have another flag on the play. We're seeing a lot of the Bryan Station colors this evening. Yellow.
Oh, yeah, you got to hope that the home team, local team's going to show up. Looks like we got to delay a game.
I was referring to the yellow flag. Guess what, folks? Another penalty against the Defenders, and now it's 2nd and 25.
Yeah, Bryan Station's really digging themselves into a hole right now with some of these mental errors. They got to find some type of balance, hopefully get into a rhythm here.
Carpenter does a nice job of eluding one defender, but can't elude the second one, and it is a sack by South Warren. Number 12, Griffin Reynolds, taking him down right there. He had nowhere to go.
No, he didn't. And we talked a little bit earlier about South Warren and just how good they are with disguising looks and coverages and having various blitzes. And right now, that's just the front four who's putting all that pressure, applying all that pressure on the quarterback.
The big difference statistically in that first quarter, 97 passing yards for South Warren, a mere 13 for Bryan Station. The rushing yards were fairly even, 31 for the Spartans, 22 for the Defenders. So it was the passing game that really opened up this game to where it's 14-3 right now. 3rd and 33. Deep pass looking for Jordan Haskins, but not finding it. Finding the sideline instead, and it's incomplete, bringing on another punt for Bryan Station.
And I know we said we'd keep an update on Bryan Station's 13, Samarion Williams. Looks like he is off the trainer's table, does have his pads and helmet in hand, but still on the sideline, so not sure if we're still going to see him, but he is up on his feet, so that's always a good sign.
Great to see, yes. Excellent news. So here's the punt. Joseph Fentress back for the Spartans to receive this offering. Ooh, nearly blocked right there. But just enough to keep it from getting to Fentress, and it's down by the Defenders, but it's inside their territory. Andre, how big of a series is this right now for Bryan Station's defense? You're already down 11. You can't give up another touchdown, can you?
Yeah, you really can't. This is a critically important part of the game right now. You're on your side of the field. They got incredible, ball field position, and you haven't been able to really stop them much on the defensive side. So, if I was Bryan Station, I actually would try to apply a lot of pressures and do some blitzes and just really disguise some of the looks and coverages.
There was a flag, by the way, on Bryan Station on that play, so the ball has been moved all the way to their 26-yard line. That's where this South Warren drive will begin. Brandon Smith and his coaching staff have to love the way this game is starting.
And South Warren has actually just put Chase Bell in.
I mentioned him earlier that he would get his chance to play. We'll see what he can do now. Bell with 2 running backs alongside him. Gives it to Caden York, and York up the middle. Shoestring tackle prevents that from becoming perhaps another touchdown. but still probably a gain of about 7 or 8 yards on that play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they use Chase Bell, because he only plays occasionally and he's more of a pocket passer. So his style will probably complement more of like your small, intermediate play calling.
Right, gave it to Jake Carter right there. Bell only a sophomore. The exact same measurements, though, by the way, as Cam Page, 6'2", 180 pounds. Coach Smith, when we were talking to him midweek, he talked about what he liked about Chase Bell and really liked his presence in the pocket. So we're going to get a chance to see that on display during his first action of 2025, alongside two running backs next to him. This time fakes the handoff to York, rolling to his left, throws against his body, and completes it right there for another positive play. That time, Justin Capps making the grab.
You know, what's really nice about that pass is Chase Bell is rolling out to his left. The receiver is doing an out-breaking route to the left. That means he has to get that ball across his body and then continue to hit the target on the move, because the DB can obviously undercut and take that for a pick six. So really great job with ball accuracy and placement, and giving the receiver a chance to catch the ball and then potentially getting up the field. For the first pass, that looked really good.
Griffin Reynolds and Caden York both alongside him in the shotgun formation. Jake Carter in motion. Bell this time gives it to York, and York fighting as best he can for yardage, but the defenders finally gang tackle him, and maybe a gain of 3 or so.
Andre, with the 2-quarterback system, what's the benefits of that, but also in terms of like continuity and kind of keeping the same guy out there? Can there be pros and cons to that?
There can, yeah, there certainly can. You know, if you start to pull the starting quarterback out too early, does he get a chance to really build rhythm and continuity with some of the other players? And then on top of that, does that start to damage some of his, you know, pass interference? That was actually a nice ball as well. But does that start to damage some of his confidence as he goes into the other games as well? So it'll be interesting to see the dynamic and how they continue to play them and sort of interweave them into different you know, situations. But I think the one thing they're trying to evaluate early in this game is how well can the backup quarterback play. Let's get him some live reps against the first team defense in case they do in fact feel like, you know, this could get away pretty quickly.
Penalties are just devastating right now for Bryan Station.
Holding call right there. Backing themselves up into the end zone. 9:01 left on the clock. South Warren still leads 14-3.
Bell looking over to his head coach, Brandon Smith, for the play. Shotgun formation once again. York in motion, far side. Bell will keep it himself, but cannot get to the end zone. Stopped about 3 yards short. Tackled by about 3 or 4 Bryan Station defenders.
Bell's a big guy. Took about 4 guys try to get him down, and he still managed to stay on his feet.
Trying to go quickly here. 3rd and 4 from the 3.
A little check with Meat, looking at the sideline. We got man-to-man. The defense is adjusting.
The snap. Bell gives it to York, and York is in for the touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown right there for the Spartans. And it's Caden York doing the honors to extend their lead to 23. Eric Allen on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. 21-3, South Warren leading Bryan Station with 8:17 to go in the second quarter. Let's take a look at the replay, guys.
Yeah, again, nice power on the 3-yard line. Give it to the big hogs, let them make room. Tailback's got an open lane.
I'm fairly sure our chief meteorologist, Justin Logan, could have run that one in.
Easy sledding.
Hey, you got to shout out the offensive line right there. In the
Absolutely.
He had nothing. He had all space in front of him. Get the day's news, headlines with the team you can trust, only on Fox 56. Join Marvin Bartlett, Andrea Walker, and meteorologist Justin Esterly as they deliver the biggest stories, breaking updates, and the latest forecast weekday evenings at 6:30, 7, and 10 on Fox 56.
So 8:17 to go in the second quarter. The lead is now 21-3. Bryan Station has to find something on offense to get back into this.
The thing we need to pay attention to now is just how these type of leads kill morale. If you sort of watch the energy on the sideline for Bryan Station, you don't really see much of the guys cheering each other on, trying to stay motivated. Will that affect them as the game progresses, or will they find a way to sort of claw back and make this a contest?
That kickoff went to Michael Syons. He caught it and just stepped out of bounds. So Bryan Station will start with good field position. The question is, what are they going to do with it? They'll start this drive at their own 36-yard line. What a beautiful night for football here at Lexington Christian Academy. Sort of overcast skies when the day began, but the sun is out right now. It is spectacular.
Hey, and not as much humidity as we've had in the past. I'll take it.
And this air-conditioned press box isn't too bad either.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 for the Defenders at the 36-yard line. Carpenter, shotgun formation, tipped pass, and he's lucky that one wasn't intercepted, Andre.
Yeah, again, I mean, South Warren is getting an incredible amount of pressure on the quarterback just with the first 4 defensive linemen. They're not doing many blitzes. They're not showing various formations, and they're not bringing different concepts to them. They're just giving them a very universal look with too high, and they're managing to apply a lot of bodies on him. That, taking those type of hits over and over again is certainly going to affect him. So he's just going to have to be a lot quicker with trying to get rid of the ball, which is unfortunate, but that's sort of his reality right now.
High snap once again, but Carpenter able to control it and hands it off to Barber for about a gain of 4. That'll set up a 3rd down once again.
It's a good job by the offensive coordinator, just kind of switching things up, getting out of the quarterback's hands quickly. The receivers got to do a better job of just being really stout on the outskirts and holding their position with those blocks and giving that receiver a chance to hopefully crease and hit a hole. But in general, it's a good job of getting some yards, and now it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, so a little bit more manageable.
I like Kerwin Montgomery's cleats, by the way. Look at those green cleats. In motion, shotgun. Carpenter eludes the rush, and he's going to keep it himself. Running up the middle, trying to get 1st down yardage, but you see the Spartan defenders holding up their fists. They think they forced a 4th down. And the
Bryan Station goes for it.
White hat, Mr. Amberman, agrees. But you've got to go for it in this situation.
You have no choice, yep.
No choice. I'd say they run that play that was the touchdown for South Warren. Just a little tush push, as Colby called it.
Yeah. Hey, one of my favorites. And the Philly. Can't forget about that one either. I'll be waiting to see that on the high school level.
Say it again.
Philly.
Tush push.
Tush push.
Thank you. All right, we're going to see what they have. It's a 1 yard that they need, but they're in shotgun, so it's really like they need 5 or 6. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with it at all. I hate that you need 1 yard and you're in a pistol, which means the quarterback's back 5 yards, the tailback's back 2 to 3 more yards. So that's 8 yards he's got to make ground before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. Get under the center.
I agree completely. That just seems... I mean, they practice these kind of things, right? Even though they're largely a pistol or shotgun type squad, you have to practice those short yardage situations where you're right under center, I would think.
And as a play caller, obviously you have situational breakdowns on your play sheet, so you would ideally have those type of 4th and 1s, 4th and 2, where you can play, you can call something and you get some bigger linemen in there and get some type of, movement up front. Now it looks like they're calling a few bigger bodies. probably get him under center, maybe do a quarterback sneak or some type of power ISO lead.
4th and 1 from their own 45. I'd say this is crucial. 6:45 to go before halftime, 21-3, South Warren.
You know, and also in these situations, you don't need to overthink it. You know, you don't have to come up with super creative stuff.
The fullback, Aaron Cano, is the one lining up behind the center. Or is it, oh, it's hard to tell. Oh, wait, actually, there's Coach Carpenter. Carpenter with the handoff. Did he get it or did he not?
He might have lost the football right there.
I don't know whether he got it. Trying to see where they're spotting it.
Couldn't quite tell. South Warren believes it might be their ball.
There will be a measurement. But from our angle here in the press box, it doesn't look like he got enough yardage. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, he looks short. Almost by 1.5 feet.
Big moment here for Bryan Station. Oh, no. The defenders turn the ball over on downs.
We get a replay here. I think we'll see that it looked like there was a couple of missed keys. We had a missed block. We had maybe 2 missed blocks, a kick out, and then the first down around. Yep. Blocks it correctly, that's easily a first down.
Well, that's another tough break for Bryan Station. So they turn it on over. Spartans take over inside Bryan Station territory at the 45-yard line. Cam Page still at quarterback. He loses the pigskin, though, and it's pounced on right there. It looks like Bryan Station has finally made a big defensive play and perhaps changed the momentum, but we'll see what the call is. At first look, it looked like, yes, indeed.
Ball they certainly needed that.
Yes, they did. Let's see who came up with it under the pile. There he is right there. Is that 52?
Yes.
Cedric Armstrong.
Well, speaking about the momentum change, we're actually going to send it down to Jordan Adams, who's been on Bryan Station's sideline. We're going to get an inside scoop on what's been like down there. Jordan, what you got?
The Bryan Station coaching staff was really trying to emphasize the big plays. The team's been doing pretty good within the tackle, stopping the run, but first play of the game, running back coming out of a wheel route, South Warren was able to hit that. Then they score off the double reverse in the first possession as well. So Bryan Station, we're really trying to focus on limiting those big plays on defense, but then they just came up with a big play, causing the fumble and getting the ball right back after turning it over on downs. They're still down a couple scores, 21-3, but a score here could put them right back in this game. Back to you, Colby.
Oh, great call. There it is. Great call. A little halfback slip.
That was Avery Johnson taking it the distance.
Yeah, that was a great call. Obviously, you know the defense is going to apply a lot of pressure. They got their ears back. They're trying to hit the quarterback. Instead, they let the lineman slip through. They get it to the tailback, and then he's able to crease and go make an incredible play. So that's a great way to respond to that turnover.
What an incredible turn of events right there. Looks like South Warren is going to potentially go in for yet another touchdown. A rare turnover, and then the very next play, Avery Johnson takes it to the house for a huge touchdown. Suddenly, with 6:21 to go, it's potentially back to an 11-point game if Bryan Station can get this extra point.
And listen, Avery Johnson has made some really exceptional plays so far today. He made that acrobatic catch, just made that touchdown. I think they need to continue to feed the guy, give him an opportunity to get the ball in space and see what he can do for the offense.
John Hannon does his part. The kick up and good. And with 6:21 to go in the second quarter, 21-10. The South Warren lead is now back to 11 points instead of 18. Here's another look at the touchdown. We were had an interview with Jordan Adams going at the time, so missed the call. But just a short screen pass from Carpenter up the middle, and then look at the speed and the burst, Andre.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Again, little nimble player. You get him out in space, get the ball in his hands, see what he can create. Tons of speed. And he continues to show like how elusive he is when he has the ball in his hands. So I thought that was a really great play call by the offensive coordinator. Now they build a little momentum. Hopefully they can make another stop here on the defense side of the ball. They still got 6.5 minutes. Perhaps they can score again.
Jordan Markham, by the way, is the offensive coordinator for Bryan Station. You give him credit for drawing up that nice play, and you could not have asked for a better time. I mean, this game had the chance to get out of control, but instead, it could be still a game at halftime.
Yeah. Now it's a 2-score game within 11 points. 6.5 minutes. Looks like they maybe have, I don't know how many timeouts they got remaining in this half, but they can get any type of stop here and then potentially go on a 2-minute drive.
Jay Carter back to receive for the Spartans, takes it at his own 5-yard line, works the right side. Not much room to go, and he's grabbed around the ankle by one defender until others join in and take him down inside his own 20-yard line. So the momentum has seriously shifted, Colby and Andre.
Yeah, it's great to see right now some of the momentum shifting from South Warren now to Bryan Station. Hopefully they can be really sound right here and disciplined, and then they're going to get a chance to potentially stop them with a 3 and out. There appears to be another flag, so we'll see who that's on. If it's on South Warren, it's incredible for Bryan Station, and it is.
Wow. It's almost like we've watched 2 different games.
Keep coming down. Keep coming down. Keep coming down.
All the momentum was with South Warren, and now all the momentum is with Bryan Station. And I know the fans that are in front of us here, all decked out in green, are suddenly very engaged. It was kind of quiet for a while, but now they're really into it.
Yeah, welcome to football.
Okay. Now, your interrupt is not loud enough.
So big possession here for Page and the Spartans, because they need to try to stop this momentum. And before the play ever gets snapped, guess what? More yellow hankies. It's probably the worst thing about football, isn't it? Slowing the game down, penalties, penalties.
Penalties on Bryan Station for having too many guys on the defense, 12 men. Now it's 5 yards back up, 1st and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
How will Bryan Station respond to that?
They should respond okay. They're pretty pumped up right now, but we'll see. Page hands it off. York once again up the middle, and he got good yardage there. Only needed 5 for the first down. Got well more than that, probably 7 or so.
Yeah, good job attacking the line of scrimmage, finding the hole, pierced it, managed to get his shoulders down, and got 5 to 6 yards. So good first play of the drive for South Warren.
I mean, it might be good enough. Okay, so I can hear the other 2. I hear no mats.
We're under 6 minutes now before halftime. Bryan Station cheerleaders yelling out, defense! And there wasn't enough.
It's better for everybody.
Defense on that play right there, because it was a good chunk of yardage once again for the South Warren Spartans. That was number 26, Jamir Boards.
I'd love to see out of Bryan Station right now start to apply some type of pressure, call some blitzes, show various formations. They've been in the same too-high look for the duration of the game. South Warren continues to show various different offensive concepts. So
2nd and 4. Page with a quick swing pass to Jake Carter. Carter looks like he's gotten enough for the first down. We'll see once they spot the football, but fairly safe play right there to get the first down. South Warren probably trying to eat the rest of the clock here in the second quarter, head into halftime potentially with more points on the board, but at the very least an 11-point lead, I guess.
Yeah, they're in sort of a 4-minute offense, which means they're not high tempo, but they're going to continue to move the ball at a nice pace, which puts them in a position to score right before the half. Nice little pop pass. Oh.
And then he breaks the tackle right there, and then finally brought down by Jordan Haskins, but 3-on-3 right there, and I'm not talking about basketball. That was Will Mays bouncing off after the catch and then picking up more yards after the catch.
Really nice concept. I think we'll have a chance to see the replay, but...
Where's Ice Cube? It's 3-on-3. It's a 3-on-3 tournament right there. 1st and 10 now. Inside Bryan Station territory. It looks like to be about the 37, 38-yard line. Page fakes the handoff. He's going to the air once again, but up till now, nobody's open. Finally dumps it off. And Jamir Boards once again making the play, but guess what? Another yellow hanky on the field.
Now we're going to see what this play, what the flag is. I'm thinking they're going to say offensive linemen are down the field, so this should be a legal pass. But let's see what the ultimate call is.
South Warren squad is walking backwards, so it appears to be on the Spartans. Joseph Ammerman.
Illegal block against South Warren to bring the ball back. 15-yard penalty.
Illegal block. 15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty, wow.
All right, well, we're going to send it down to the field. Sports reporter Connor Sturgill has more on South Warren. Connor.
Well, Colby, the theme on the South Warren sideline is consistency. They've had some good scoring drives with both their quarterbacks, Cam Page and Chase Bell, in the lineup, but there have been a lot of penalties, yellow hankies, as Paul likes to say, and some turnovers, including that fumble that led to a Bryan Station score. They're also trying to establish that run game right now as South Warren gets very close to touchdown. They actually just scored, but they want to get run game going with their stud running back, Caden York. And hopefully that score that happened right behind me just now will kind of give that momentum back that Bryan Station seemed to seize. But for now, we'll send it back to you, Colby.
Thanks, Connor. All right, well, during that report, South Warren with a big run, but it looks like we've got a flag on the play.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yep.
But the touchdown does count. It obviously came during the end zone celebration.
Right.
Touchdown for the Spartans, but there was a flag on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Spartans.
Big answer by South Warren right there.
Will be assessed on the kickoff.
Took under 3 minutes to extend their lead again.
And here goes the momentum again.
Yeah.
Back over to South Warren.
Yeah, it's a great thing about South Warren. They continue to show it time after time how disciplined they are. And even in these tough situations, they continue to remain poised, stick to what they're good at, and eventually get points back on the board. So now the momentum's back on their side.
Alan Alec, the place kicker for the Spartans, he's having a very active first half. He's kicked another extra point. So 28-10 now. Spartans increase their lead once again. Here's the replay, by the way. Look at that move by Jake Carter. You know, he's the team's leading wide receiver, but he's pretty good running the ball too, isn't he?
Absolutely, as we can see right there. I think, too, the fascinating part about South Warren is they spent some times in different classes. Obviously, they have a state championship in 4A and then 2 state championships in 5A, now going into 6A. But throughout those change in classes, I know head coach Brandon Smith said the expectations don't change from any year. And as we can see, I think that's what comes down to that discipline on their end of the ball.
In talking to Brandon Smith earlier in the week, we asked him about the excitement for these kids, you know, to play on television. Not every high school football player gets a chance to do that. It's kind of a rare occasion. And he said, hey, look, they'll be really excited if they just play in a cornfield. So it's even better than that tonight.
Absolutely. Again, it's a beautiful day out here at Lexington Christian Academy. Sun's coming down, not too much. Again, we're in some AC, but it's looking nice out there.
Sure is. So another chance for Bryan Station now to try to answer. Once again, they have a couple of returners back. It's Kamani Barber and I believe Jordan Haskins right there. Maybe Braden Payne. I'm not 100% sure. That looks like it's. Or is that Avery Williams? Avery. No, it is Braden Payne. Braden Payne worked the right side and took it to the house. The sophomore with a big play right there. And suddenly the momentum is once again changing.
And how about that block from Kamani Barber? Did you guys see that right here on our side? I mean, oh my goodness. I don't know if he would have got through without that big block from Barber.
I can't wait to see the replay on this one.
And the Station fans are certainly on their feet.
You know, this is what we were talking about earlier. They have so many dynamic players. They just need to find ways to get them the ball in space. And instead of that, on the offense side, they said, you know, we'll just give them the ball on kick returns or punt returns and allow them to go be super athletic. And obviously right here, they were able to take advantage of that and get some points. So really cool.
Chance to make this a 28-17 game. Hannon on again for the extra point. Jordan Haskins with the hold, coach's son. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick. It's good. 3:55 to go in the second quarter. This is turning out to be a very entertaining game, guys. Kind of a slow start for Bryan Station, but look at this replay. I mean, Braden Payne inflicting some pain right here.
Come on, can we get the Kamani Barber block? Here he goes.
There he goes.
Here he goes. I told you guys. He was bulldozed his way.
Can I get some syrup with that pancake? Wow.
Unbelievable.
That you called it, Colby. I missed
did.
it the first time through. That was.
Hey, I'm all about the support
excellent.
team, and I was seeing who was out there blocking, and that one was very evident right there.
Yes, just because we asked for it, we're going to get to see it again. I don't think we can see this enough.
Maybe slow it down for us a little bit.
Call Sports Center. Slow-mo, too. As John Madden would say, boom! Wow. And then, of course, on the other side of him was Jordan Haskins with the escort into the end zone. That was fun. Wow.
That's collective football right there.
All right, 28-17. Here comes the kickoff from Hannon. South Warren back to receive. It's a squib kick, and finally it is picked up. Will he have anything to do, though? No. The squib kick worked very well. Oh, boy.
A flag.
A flag on the play. I'm going to guess this is on South Warren. What do you guys think?
It's a high probability.
I know as an announcer I shouldn't guess, but.
Now, to end this half, it's going to be crucial that Bryan Station makes some type of stop defensively and gets them off the field so they don't score any more points going into the locker rooms.
Exactly. I mean, other than the turnover by South Warren a little bit earlier in this quarter, the Spartans have had their way with the Bryan Station defense. And I think confidence-wise, Bryan Station has to prove that that they have what it takes to stop their opponent. That was a penalty on South Warren, by the way. So this drive starts 1st and 10 at the South Warren 11-yard line. 3:48 to go before halftime. And it's the handoff right there. Big hole. Well, decent gain right there. Maybe a gain of 5 or so.
Coach's son, Jordan Haskins, on the tackle.
Boards on the carry. Brings the ball out to the 17-yard line, 18-yard line.
It was a gain of about 7 yards, so setting up a 2nd and 3. Clock running, 3:20 left, second quarter. Again, the handoff. Caden York does a nice job of slipping past one defender, and he has first down yardage easily.
And those are 7, 8, 10-yard gains. They're in a 4-minute offense. They're playing at a nice little pace. This is exactly what South Warren wants to do in terms of being effective and getting some points on the board before halftime. Bryan Station is just going to have to increase the intensity, make a stop here.
Carpenter Another handoff. Nowhere to go, though. Time is going to start to be a little bit of a factor here, though, because this clock is running. A lot of time is being eaten up in between plays. We're at 2:37 now to go before halftime, and they're still pulling bodies off the turf just to get everybody up. Tick-tock, tick-tock.
Seems like Cam Page is still pretty comfortable back there. Not as much pressure as I think we would like to see from Bryan Station up front.
I feel like the only time he's been hit for a loss is kind of when there was a bad snap or something. He had just fall on the ball.
Right.
Page gives it to York. York up the middle once again. And once again, it's an average gain. I would never call that one great.
The one thing I just noticed here is it looks like South Warren is starting to set up a potential trick play. I don't know if you saw at the bottom of the screen. They're testing to see. They did a sort of a smoke screen where the receiver took one step, he flashes, and they're trying to see how is the defense responding to that quarterback sort of flashed to after he handed the ball off. I'd imagine they're eventually going to come back to that.
Interesting. I did not catch that. That's why we have you in the booth with us.
That's right.
You can never beat a former player, right?
Looks like we've got a timeout with 1:44 to go. South Warren leads 28-17 in a high-intensity game. But I will say, what better way to start off the high school football season than a game like this?
And not to toot our own horn, but Fox 56 is so into our local community.
Absolutely.
We love these home team showcases. This is the first time we've had a chance to do football in our station's history, but we did basketball last year, and that was a great success, and we've now branched off into football.
Absolutely. Well, no one covers Kentucky weather like Fox 56, the Weather Authority. Chief Meteorologist Justin Logan, Meteorologist Justin Esterly, Peyton Hinkle, and Meteorologist Chris Johnson. The team you know and trust. From breaking weather alerts to daily forecasts, they've got Kentucky covered with accuracy you can count on. Rain or shine, stay ahead with Fox 56, the Weather Authority.
It is a pleasure to work with Justin Logan, by the way.
He's one of a kind.
And all the others. They're
Absolutely.
great. All right, we're back to live action. Minute 44 to go. Carpenter in shotgun. He's dropping back. Flings it in the flat to a wide open receiver, Caden York. Now the question is, did he make the catch?
I thought that was a drop. I'd love to see the replay on that one.
The defenders say, no, that was not a catch. But they confer, the referees, what's the call?
Oh.
They agree.
It's unfortunate for South Warren. If the quarterback had a chance to establish his feet and put it there, I mean, that's easily a 40, 50-yard gain.
They would love to have that one back.
Yep, but Bryan Station was able to apply some pressure finally, and the quarterback threw the ball off balance, resulting in that incompletion. So really good job for Bryan Station, stopping the chains and finally getting the ball back.
The Bryan Station defense is like, yes, get us off the field, please.
Oh, no.
That was 4th and 4. So if it's a penalty on Bryan Station, it'll be a first down for South Warren.
Offsides on 18.
Offsides on 18 for Bryan Station.
Yep. So automatic first down. South Warren's back up.
And that's the kind of stuff you got to avoid. You just get ball possession and now giving it right back.
Yep.
Ronick Woolfolk, if you're right on number 18, Andre was the defender offender.
Yeah, unfortunately, he saw the flash of the motion. He thought the ball was being snapped. He went in to make contact with the receiver.
Well, that's devastating. That's a shame right there because Bryan Station really needed to get off the field, but instead it's 1st and 10 once again for South Warren. Carpenter play action, flings it down the right sideline, and once again he had a guy open but couldn't deliver the football in the proper place.
Big miss by the quarterback there.
Page has at least a couple of instances where he would like a do-over. You could hear the crowd saying, "Come on, defense, make a play!" They're into it here. I love it. Second and 10 from the 40. Carpenter looking to pass. Throws in the flat to Caden York. York looking for blockers. Finds a few. Nice gain of maybe about 9 yards, but we'll see what the flag is. Flag does stop the clock with 1:09 to go here in the second quarter.
Looks like it's on the offense. Holding.
It's against South Warren. They'll be heading back 10 yards.
You know, and if I'm Bowling Green right here, excuse me, if I'm Bryan Station right here, I'm not calling any timeouts. Like, I'm going to continue to allow this clock to tick. South Warren looks like they may have 3 timeouts remaining, so they have plenty of time to still get down the field. Hey, but I'm not preventing that clock from stopping at all.
If you're Bryan Station.
If you're Bryan Station. It's 2nd and 11. Continue to allow that thing to dwindle down. Hopefully you make them dink and dunk. Don't give up big plays.
Because if you can stay within 11 by halftime, you're feeling really good about things.
You're in great position.
Another stop in play. At this rate, we should have this game finished by about 10:14 tonight.
Still got a second one, Paul. Don't say that.
Yeah, that one will end at 3 a.m.
Better get some more caffeine up here. I would love to have the endurance, I will say, of Caden York. Both sides of the ball, he's doing it all tonight. I'm like, I need some of that.
Oh, to be young again.
Right.
Or that young again, I should say. Yeah. Andre, when you played high school ball, did you play both sides?
I did, yep. My junior and senior year, I was also defensive end.
What?
Yeah.
We'll
I
get
mean,
to
I guess
that.
you don't see many 6'4", 6'5" guys that are super athletic out there. I don't know if I'm athletic, but good enough to play the defensive end position.
Cam Page is athletic, and he keeps it up the middle. Gets all the way across midfield into Bryan Station territory with 1:01 on the clock, and the Spartans are on the move. I didn't mean to sound defensive, by the way, when I went, what? You played defensive end? I mean, I'm one to talk. All right.
I had some type of coordination.
Oh, I know you did. 53 seconds to go. Cam Page trying his best to get the Spartans back into the end zone. Page, lots of time to pass, keeps it himself, and he has a big hole over the right side and then slides down. You see those tire droppings fly up as he hits the turf.
Smart by Page. You know, he's not forcing it here. You know, the one thing you would like to see as he goes through the progression, he actually had 2 guys I thought he could have drove that ball on and got massive chunk of yardage, but he didn't feel comfortable with the look, and so he pulled it.
Clock running, 28 seconds to go. Once again, Page up the middle. And there are a lot of whistles on the field, so that clock does stop with 22 seconds to go.
First time out by South Warren.
What do we think the conversations are in each huddles going into these last 22 seconds here?
You know, I think for Bryan Station, the big thing is, again, don't give up big plays. Keep everything in front of you. Allow them to make small chunks. And then that's going to potentially eat up some more of the clock, which forces South Warren to call the last 2 timeouts. I think South Warren, on the other hand, is going to come up with something super creative. Hopefully puts a lot of strain and pressure by creating some type of mismatch in the secondary and potentially, you know, find some type of open receiver. So I'll be fascinated to see what they draw up. But, you know, they've been really good with having different scenarios where they have plays for these situations.
I will say, too, with South Warren, Coach Smith was telling us they are young up front, but I'd say the young guys have been performing pretty well here tonight.
I agree. All right, 22 seconds to go. 2nd and 6 from the 31 of Bryan Station. Page trying to make something happen once again. Shotgun formation. Nowhere to go at first, rolls to his right, and then just simply throws it away. But that play eats 6 seconds. We do know that John Hannon kicked that 45-yard field goal in the first quarter for Bryan Station, so we know he has a nice leg. Not sure about the South Warren kicker. I'm not sure exactly how far they need to get to be in field goal range.
Still 16 seconds to go.
One wide out to the far side, 3 to the near side. Page is looking to the near side, and it's the slant pass right there. to Tucker Sears, and Sears racing to get out of bounds. Did he? 10 seconds left on the
This is a
clock.
questionable decision by the head coach. He's saying spike the ball instead of calling a timeout. You're going to lose at least 1 or 2 seconds on the clock by doing this. So I don't know if I agree with that. Just take the timeout.
I agree, because then you only have time for one play probably.
Yeah, preserve as much time as possible.
Here comes the whistle.
Oh, we got a guy.
Oh, yeah. Looks like we're...
I believe that was the player that just made the catch, Tucker Sears.
He's releasing some fluids.
Feeling a little nauseous. All right, so 10 seconds to go. We'll see if they spike it or run the play. Looks like they're running a play, though. This has to be a pass play, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Paul.
You know, I'm going to be hearing that whistle in my sleep tonight at 3:15 a.m. when I go to bed.
What is that? We got a false start.
Yep.
On South Warren, we're backing it right back up. Well, a quick shout out here to the Bryan Station cheerleaders. They're loud, keeping the crowd going on this side.
Love it.
You think throw it into the end zone at this point?
No.
Just quick
I
out.
think, you know, it really just depends on how aggressive they want to be, but I would potentially give it a shot, maybe. But I think they're going to do something more towards the sideline.
Pressure on
You gotta get rid of it.
Carpenter. Throws it into the end zone,
Picked
and
off.
it's intercepted
Great stop by
by
Bryan.
Jordan Haskins, who decides to bring it out. No matter, the clock has run out on the first half.
Man, that's what they needed right there. You couldn't ask for anything better for the defenders.
Yeah, incredible play by the defense. You could tell all of them were following the eyes of the quarterback. Right there in that situation, the quarterback just needs to chuck it, throw it out of bounds, give the team an opportunity to at least get some type of points on the board. You can't just force it. But really great stop by Bryan Station in the half.
Let's say, I mean, how important, because if they go and score, that score certainly looks a lot different than it does right now.
No doubt. And I think Bryan Station gets the ball at halftime too. So that's huge.
What do you all,
Shift the momentum.
you've been able to see collectively Bryan Station, but JT Haskins going into that halftime speech. What is he telling his team?
What do you think he's telling his team, Andre?
All right, well, we actually got Connor Sturgill down on the field with South Warren's head coach, Brandon Smith. Connor, what you got for us?
Coach Smith, obviously a very intense game, punches thrown on both sides, not how you want to end that second half. What are you telling your team? What do you want to see in the second half of this game?
I just got to clean up the mistakes. I mean, we're doing a lot of this to ourselves, and we got to play cleaner football.
Okay, obviously, Caden York's a big thing in your offense. How do you get him more involved? Because obviously they're going to keep focusing on slowing him down as best they can.
Well, the first thing we got to do is eliminate some of these penalties. I mean, it's putting us behind the sticks and killing our drives.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Best of luck in the second half. Colby, back to you.
Thank you so much, Connor. All right, well, we'll do a little bit of analysis of the first half, what we've seen here. Obviously, momentum shift since the game got going. Paul, what have you liked from Bryan Station since you kind of previewed them to start?
I like their resilience. I like the fact that the game didn't start out great for them, but the defenders have managed to kind of get back into it. You know, early on, it was positive plays from Cam Page and the Spartans working their way into the end zone, building a pretty comfortable lead. We're seeing some highlights right here where they did well. But then here are some nice moments for the defenders with a run up the middle. And even though Bryan Station fell behind early, had the resiliency to try to stay in it and managed to do so, only trailing by 11 at the half.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for us here before halftime. Score 28-17, South Warren leads. We'll have more coming up after the break.
This is the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.
Welcome back into our Fox 56 Home Team Showcase, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Colby Wilson alongside Paul Jones and Andre Woodson. What a half of high school football here at Lexington Christian Academy. 28-17 South Warren leads at the half. Paul, what have you liked from Bryan Station so far, and what do they have to do better to come out here and hopefully put more points on the board?
I don't love the fact that the Defenders had a slow start, but I do love the fact that they hung with it.
Yeah.
And they stayed with it, resilient, as I mentioned just before we went to the break, and are only down 11 points. I mean, you look at some of the highlights right here. C.J. Carpenter did finally manage to connect with his guys and some positive plays.
Absolutely. And Andre, on your side for South Warren, obviously started fast. What have you liked from them?
Yeah, I thought they were super strategic, intentional with just giving the quarterback an opportunity to get quick, easy passes and got him into a rhythm. But then later towards like the second part of the half, then they started to make some more questionable calls. He was kind of throwing blindly. So hopefully they'll make some of those errors. They'll fix it up, clean it up, and in the second half they'll be able to adjust and be a lot more effective.
I know you've mentioned, Andre, throughout the game, maybe Bryan Station switching things up a little bit. Things are starting to get repetitive. Do you think that's the conversations that JT Haskins is having with them at the half?
I would hope so. I'd imagine, yeah. At this point, when you start to become a little bit more predictable, you have to start making adjustments and show various coverages and blitzes and different type of schemes. And so hopefully they'll do that. They'll make that approach, and then they'll obviously be able to be more effective in terms of getting the pressure on the quarterback, or applying more pressure on the front line of scrimmage.
And I do know one thing that JT Haskins said to his son Jordan in the locker room. We don't have a camera in there, but I'm pretty sure he said this after that interception to close out the first half. He said, "Your allowance just went up."
And that's how it goes now, huh? Absolutely was. Paul, one name you said a lot is Cam Page. What did you like from the Spartans quarterback so far in this first half?
He seems to have control of the Spartans offense. He got into the end zone once himself with the tush push, and he's made some nice throws. He has a lot of weapons, which certainly helps. And I'm sure Brandon Smith is probably pretty pleased with his performance so far through 2 quarters.
Any prediction on what we are going to see on this field here behind us going into the second half?
I think South Warren will probably pull it out. I think they'll continue to sustain drives, generate more points. I'd love to see Bryan Station push back and kind of get some of the momentum, but I'm potentially looking at South Warren pulling this one out.
I don't know what to predict because that first quarter was so one-sided in favor of South Warren, and the second quarter was a little more evenly matched with Bryan Station figuring some things out. So we've had too many momentum shifts for me to totally know what's going to happen, although you're probably right based on the fact that they're up 11 points at this point.
Absolutely. Well, we are looking forward to a great second half of football, and we're actually going to send it to Peyton Hinkle and Tyler Melito, who are joined by Bryan Station's band.
Well, if you ever join us for Home Team Friday Nights kickoff Friday mornings at 8 o'clock, you know we love to not only highlight our local football teams, but also the people who support them, like the marching bands like we have here, and of course the cheer and dance squads as well. Right, Tyler?
That is certainly right. We're so glad to be joined by the Bryan Station Marching Band. We have Kate and Zaria, 2 of the seniors of this group. Ladies, this is your senior season. How exciting is it?
Definitely super excited for this season.
I'm very excited. So excited.
What are you guys most looking forward to as we go into this fall?
This year, I'm really excited to venture into more of the crafts that I love and then explore new things.
Kate, what about you?
Yeah, I'm excited to start getting ready for college, going into music ed, playing in the stands with my friends and all that, yeah.
And what is that like, being in the stands, getting everyone hyped up on game days? Y'all have a very important job.
Oh yeah, it's so fun, especially playing near the student section. They'll start hyping us up. They'll start dancing with us. It's a lot of fun.
So enjoy your senior year because it's going to go by fast. I think we can both agree to that. But is there a song or anything specific that really gets the crowd into things?
Definitely Tank. I see like our Tank fanfare. I definitely get myself into that one a lot.
Okay, and you guys have a performance for us now. We're going to let you guys go ahead and get in place, and we're going to let you guys play some music for us.
We're going to bring some good vibes.
Yeah, let's bring the good vibes. You guys go ahead and get ready.
Oh my God, Peyton, what a band. Give yourselves a hand.
They sounded pretty good.
I am so pumped for football season.
I know, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I know you can catch them at all the Bryan Station home football games, but also they have a bunch of events planned throughout the community coming up this next season as well.
Absolutely. Peyton, I think we got to get to some more football.
Yeah, that's right. So stay with us. More football on the way next.
Great stuff there from the Bryan Station Band. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have more live football coming from Lexington Christian Academy next on the Home Team Showcase.
This is the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.
All right, guys, here with the head coach of the Bryan Station Defenders, JT Haskins, senior coach. Your first game with your alum, your first halftime speech. What did you tell the guys?
Just told them to stick with the game plan. We got a lot of self-inflicting wounds. We got to clean up our penalties, and just need to come out in the second half. We need to score, get a stop, and we're right back in this ball game. We only down 11.
Talking about getting a stop, obviously 28-17 right now. Your son was able to get an interception right before halftime. How big was that to keep you guys in this game?
That was great. It was very momentum for us going into the half. Him getting that stop gives us a chance to come out and get this W.
All right, appreciate it, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys, Colby.
We got the inside scoop right there from Coach JT Haskins. What did you like that he said about his team going into the second half?
I like his enthusiasm. I like the fact that he talked about the word momentum. That was a huge factor in them getting back into this game. And Andre, they have to keep it up, though. They can't have another dip.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And he's got to instill confidence and let them know that there's still opportunity. You have ample time to get back into the contest. You had an incredible stop before halftime. Now you get the ball. How are you going to respond? Hopefully they do it the right way and get some points on the board.
And how critical are limiting penalties, limiting turnovers? I feel like the nervousness could have gone down at this point, and now it's time to play disciplined football.
It wasn't just us talking about the self-inflicted wounds. You heard JT Haskins use that exact terminology. He knows they have to put a stop to it in the third and fourth quarter to have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I love to see them eliminate some of the mental errors and be more disciplined, watching the ball, not getting penalties. So hopefully they'll clean that up in the second half, and then that will obviously allow them to be more competitive and potentially, continue to move the ball and stop drives.
And we'll have some of the first half statistics when we rejoin you in a little bit.
And over on to South Warren, what do we need to see from them? I feel like they've had some explosive plays offensively, but they've let Bryan Station kind of cut back into this game a little bit.
Yeah, well, I would love to see them, again, sustain more drives, eliminate some of the penalties as well. But more importantly, I'd like to see them on the defensive side prevent Bryan Station from getting these big plays, because they haven't really been able to move the chains. They've been more so be able to get some larger plays that's generated points. So we'll see how that continues to evolve.
I can't say enough about that touchdown by Braden Payne with the pancake block from Kamani Barber. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, that was just that may have been the highlight of the first half.
I'm telling you, for me, it's always big players make big plays, but you got to see the support around them. That touchdown's not happening without that big-time block from the senior, who's also, I feel like, stepped up, and that goes back to experienced guys kind of just relying on what they know.
It's an early candidate for the play of the night, that's for sure.
Oh, hey, and we have to look out for that. So
yes,
that is a good one to absolutely think about. That actually might just have my vote. Well, we've got the teams behind us warming up here. Can we talk about the environment a little bit? It's been nice.
It's beautiful. Sun's starting to go down just a little bit, and good crowd here, no doubt.
Absolutely.
How was that?
So we will see what unfolds here in the second half. 28-17 as we reset things. 12 minutes on the clock to start the third quarter. Crowd settled in. Bryan Station cheerleaders are all gathering for a nice photo on the sideline.
Of course, first game.
Yes. Let's do it for the gram.
That's right. It's all about the gram, Paul.
It is. If you look at ours, you know it is.
Yeah.
And of course, Jordan Adams is down there near the cheerleaders. Look at that. He's getting a shot of his own.
Yeah.
That is so on brand.
Yeah.
Great job by Jordan Adams and Connor Sturgill down on the sideline.
Absolutely.
For this Fox 56 home team showcase. Just such a pleasure to be a part of this here at Lexington Christian Academy. Second half kickoff is underway, and it's not much. Just a quick step out of bounds after securing the catch by Avery Johnson. Of course, he had a big touchdown in that first half as well. Looking for more big things in the second half.
Yeah, so right here at the gate, Bryan Station needs to establish the front line. They need to get some vertical movement. They need to be creative with some of the play calling and put the quarterback in a position where he can start to create rhythm and feel comfortable in the pocket and make really good decisions with passing. That's what I would like to see them establish the second half.
All right, so here we go. We'll see if JT Haskins gets what he wished for. Early handoff. And not much doing right there.
It's not the best way to start the second half. Warren does have some massive guys up front on the defensive line.
You were about to get to my point. You got to shout them out. I mean, 52, the 6'1" junior, Jacquez Smith, absolutely. He's been making plays for this team.
How much does he weigh?
Oh, my goodness.
340?
340 is right.
Wow. All right. Carpenter rolling to his right. Looked like he had a man open, but keeps it himself, and then not much doing right there. That was 2nd and 13, by the way.
Yeah, and you can see some of the frustration in the receiver. He thought he was open as well. He's screaming down the sideline. Quarterback, unfortunately, didn't see him, and that's okay. Maybe that's a play that they come back to revisit. Certainly was open.
How many times did that happen to you in a UK game where the guy came back to the huddle and said, "What is wrong with you, Andre?"
Well, there's one guy in particular, Dickie Lyons. I think he came back every single play. It didn't matter if it was a run or not, but he was open. So.
Oh, Dickie. Oh, that's hilarious.
Receivers are pretty animated when they don't get the ball.
Of course they are. All right, 3rd and 9 now. Big play for Bryan Station. Opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Carpenter throw in, but intercepted. Another turnover for Bryan Station, and this one's headed the other way. A huge defensive play right there for South Warren.
That's tough right there. The quarterback, again, kind of throwing blindly, threw off his back foot. You have to get some power on that pass if you're throwing across the field to a deep vertical pass. What did the safety do? He read his eyes, he followed, he came along, and then he undercut the receiver.
There's a replay right here.
This is Isaiah Bridges, by the way, the 5'11", 150-pound junior, stepping in front of the pass right there, and that is something Brandon Smith loves to see. Then the great speed down the side. Finally stopped short about the 7-yard line, but this is exactly what JT Haskins did not want, a turnover on the opening drive for the Defenders.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just one of those unfortunate situations for a young quarterback. Just has to learn quickly. You can't put the ball up there for grabs. Be really smart and intentional where you placed it.
Now it's Cam Page's turn for his first possession of the second half. Gives it to Caden York. York with a little shimmy. Little shimmy shake for a couple of yards. Ball's on the 6-yard line. Gain of 2.
We'll see here. Will South Warren decide to run the ball? Or are they going to try to put the ball in the air? I'd imagine they'll rely on the run.
Okay, I was going to go air.
Give it to York.
You know what? You're so smart. Caden York once again.
Oh, was he down?
About the 1-yard line. Oh, you know what that's time for, Colby.
Push, push.
Push, push. Here we go. Look at the big guy coming in there, number 50 for South Warren. They brought in Christian Woods. And here we go. Timeout.
Oh, that's
Bryan
unfortunate.
Station.
And coach is not happy about that. I heard one coach say we talked about this at halftime.
You don't want to waste your time out within the first 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter.
Especially for trying to stop a tush push where that's nearly unstoppable.
And you're already down 11 points, potentially about to be down, what, 18 points? Those timeouts are going to be critically important for the remainder of the game.
Absolutely. And going back to that interception there thrown by C.J. Carpenter, Andre, how much is listening to the play call but also having the patience and knowledge to just make the right read at the right time?
Yeah, you got to have the intuition just to sometimes swallow the football, you know, when the play's not there, and take a sack or negative play. Instead of trying to force it downfield and trying to create something when it's not open. And it's tough, especially for the younger players. That's something he'll continue to learn over time.
For sure.
Here we go, back to live action. Page, he acted like he was going to head out for a pass or something, and then the ball went to York instead, and he made it look easy. I like that play call there from Brandon Smith.
And, you know, the neat thing about that, you saw the quarterback basically running in reverse. So that tells me at some point down the road, not today, but one of these future games, they're going to put a trick play in there where the quarterback eventually will get it.
That's right.
Really
this is the game tape where they want to not show it, and then people think, oh, it's always a decoy.
false start on the kicker.
Starting strong, Paul.
Sure didn't take long for South Warren to get the momentum again. 2 minutes and 9 seconds into this third quarter. And the lead is 34-17.
Rarely do you see false start on the kicker.
Yeah.
It just puts him a little deeper. Test his leg and see how he continues to do from that
There
depth.
you go.
He's just wanting to show his range.
Yeah.
Watch him get another false start here so he can kick it even farther. Good step, good hold, and a good kick.
Plenty of leg.
5 yards did not make much of a difference. And so 35-17 is our score with 9:51 left in the third quarter.
Well, kind of the story of this whole game. Bryan Station about to get the ball back, and they got to go down and get a touchdown or at least get a field goal. Got to get some points, some momentum somehow.
That's exactly what Bryan Station did not want to happen.
You know, the other thing that's going to be worth paying attention to is, will they eventually consider warming up another quarterback and giving them a shot if they don't feel like they have any chance in the game, just to get some exposure and experience for the backup? I would hope they feel like they can continue to fight, potentially claw back into this game, but if they feel like it's out of hand, or
That may be a couple more touchdowns away.
Possibly.
Because they did a nice job of rallying in the first half to kind of make it a game at halftime. So we shall see.
Hopefully C.J. Carpenter, though, is able to kind of stay level-headed, continue to be confident, but the most important thing is really understand what he's seeing out there before he throws the football.
Monty Barber back to receive. Kickoff. Whoa. Actually, that was Braden Wilson. My apologies.
You would like to see, of course, the same fight from Bryan Station that we saw there in the first half. Talking to J.T. Haskins ahead of the showcase, he said that durability stands out about this team and the no give-up mentality, which we definitely saw there in the first, but they're going to have to come out here and punch back.
And like I just mentioned, they've already made a replacement at quarterback.
Yeah.
Looks like they have number 2 coming in.
Yes, I'm looking right now. Jordan Haskins is on the sideline getting stretched out, so he is not in the game currently.
Number 2, by the way, is Sean Okpebolo. The immediate run for him. He's a senior, by the way, 5'10". And he has a tall task in front of him.
He certainly does. And we don't know yet if he's a dual threat quarterback, if he's a one-dimensional quarterback, if he can throw. I guess time will tell. But at this point, I would imagine they're going to heavily rely on the ground.
In our talk with J.T. Haskins earlier in the week, he really just talked about C.J. Carpenter at quarterback. He didn't get into Sean Okpebolo. We'll see what he has. Second play where he calls his own number. Appears to be a running quarterback. Not even a hint, really, of passing the ball there. It's just get the snap and go.
I think they're going to have to do a lot more reads. So at least it creates some type of threat on the defensive end where they're not just screaming up the field trying to attack the runner. At least if you do some type of read, the defensive ends or tackles are going to have to at least respect the possibility someone else could get the ball instead of the quarterback.
And Pabolo, once again, he will run the ball over the near side, fighting as best he can, but well short of the first down. You know, he wears number 2, but I feel like he should have been number 1 because he's calling play number 1 every time. Here's a replay, Andre.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but he doesn't feel comfortable with what he sees downfield. Gets a little pressure and decides just to tuck it and get upfield.
There wasn't much progression there. It looked like his main goal was to run.
We have Avery Johnson there trying to Block Jaquez Smith. That's a hard task right there.
Give me Jaquez Smith in that one.
Yeah.
And there's the punt. Little contact on the punter, but no flag thrown. So here comes South Warren. And big chunky yardage as well right there. That was number 13, Jordan Bird with the return.
Got the replay right here.
That's a really good punt return.
Actually, check that. That was Ryan Aller. Riley Aller. No, just, well, I can't tell. This roster is not cooperating.
Good field position here for South Warren.
You gotta love starting in the opposition's territory.
Yeah.
Page. What a connection!
Goodness, are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness! Jake Carter with the deflection makes the grab and is inside the 10-yard line of Bryan Station.
Now that was a remarkable play.
Maybe we just found our play of the week right there.
That could be potentially the play of the game.
Play of the game, excuse me, yes.
Brandon Smith's over there saying, that is just like I drew it up, guys. Well done. We'll have to see a replay on that as soon as we have a chance, but in the meantime, it looks like South Warren's on the doorstep again with a chance to perhaps deliver the knockout punch.
When it's going your way, it's going your way. I tell you what, that's one of those unfortunate situations. Bryan Station should technically get an interception, but what happens instead? They get a completion and an additional 30 yards. Oh.
JT Haskins has to be thinking, what else can go wrong in this third quarter? First and goal from the 3 for the Spartans. Page keeps it himself. Nothing doing.
I don't love the quarterback draw. Again, I mean, obviously he's a dual threat. He's got tons of ability running the football, but give it to your tailback or call some type of play action or pop pass or something.
And I don't like the run right up the middle. If you're going to insist on a QB draw, go to the outside a little bit where the big guys aren't.
Unless they just feel like they're dominating up front and they're going to get that vertical movement. Call something else. Get it out of his hands. And here's the same thing. The pistol on the 4-yard line. I don't love it, but I'm sure this offense coordinator knows what he's doing.
That was a loss of 1, by the way, on the last play. So now it's 2nd and 4.
Yep.
Page once again throwing into the end zone to a wide open receiver.
No, they call it completion.
And they called it a touchdown. Andre, what
Let's see that replay. I don't know about
that
that
off
one.
the turf. Let's see this, yes.
I thought that skidded off the ground. If not, that's a remarkable catch by that receiver. Let's see if we get a replay here. We'll go good.
Well, let's take a look at what led to this touchdown. It was a wild play that you'll see a lot on the highlights. Page, deflected pass, and Jake Carter is Johnny on the spot.
That was unbelievable. You cannot write that story.
Jordan Haskins saved it from being a touchdown, but it only delayed the inevitable because just a short time later led to the touchdown, which we're going to see a replay of as well, and we'll determine whether he really caught the ball.
Oh, I don't know.
So tough to see.
Well, we'll never know, guys.
So unfortunate because coming in, it felt like Bryan Station could bring some momentum, and then they just turned the ball over, and South Warren has just been all over it since.
14 unanswered points in less than 6 minutes on the clock, and it's now 42-17 South Warren.
Yeah, the body language of Bryan Station right now tells me they're defeated mentally. Hopefully they can snap back, get a little bit of momentum, at least continue to fight, make this competitive.
They're going to need a lot more of that resiliency that I was talking about from the first half. One of the things that impressed me about them. There's the kickoff. Oh, and another nice return. Braden Payne Number 26. Get a spectacular highlight in the first half. He's trying for a little more right there. C.J. Carpenter coming back out once again as quarterback after a brief appearance by Sean Oklabolo. Carpenter under center for one of those rare occasions. Hands it off to Kerwin Montgomery.
Yeah, it looked like a nice little outside zone. Receivers did a good job securing the perimeter, gave the tailback an opportunity to get up the field and get 4 or 5 yards. 3.
3 yards, there you go. 2nd and 7 from the 43 of Bryan Station. Handoff up the middle. Montgomery again. Not much doing. It's going to be 3rd down.
Now, in my opinion, this is something you don't want to see out of Bryan Station. They're becoming one-dimensional. They're just heavily running the ball. And I understand that the quarterback perhaps has 2 turnovers, but still, this is a great teaching opportunity. Continue to throw the ball. Continue to groom him. Give him a chance to build confidence. And the more exposure and experience and repetitive opportunities that he has to throw the football against, especially this type of team, it's only going to be monumental as he continues to build on his craft for the rest of the season. So put him in those positions. Let him throw the football.
Yeah, when you're down 25 points with 17 minutes to go, too. That's important. And there you go, Andre. You called it. C.J. Carpenter connecting for the touchdown pass. Kamani Barber, number 4, making the play, and that was much needed.
Hey, he can block and he can score touchdowns.
He plays
He is
offense.
not one-dimensional, let me tell you that much right there.
They should have him kick the extra point.
Absolutely.
That's right.
How about the timing there, Andre? That was fantastic. You nailed it.
You know, the interesting thing is they've called that concept 3 times, and that's a rail route, and he's been open every time, but the quarterback unfortunately hasn't had a chance to get to him. That time he just gave it a shot.
Going for 2 to try to make this a 17-point game.
Smart.
Carpenter getting hurried, rolls to his left and has a wide open receiver, but he missed him. Oh, Jeremiah George was open in the end zone. So instead of it 42-25, it's 42-23 with 4:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's the replay.
Now, you know, it's hard to tell. Did the receiver stop? Oh, actually, we're looking at the touchdown.
Did the defender misread this, or?
No, the defender misjudged the angle of the receiver and trajectory of the football.
So it was a bad play by a defender and a great play by a defender.
Great play, yep, great play by the quarterback. I don't know if we get a chance to see the replay of the 2-point conversion, but I think the receiver may have stopped in his route, which is why the quarterback overshot him. I think the quarterback may have been thinking he's going to continue to stay on the move, and the receiver just...
You thought I'm so wide open, why do I need to move anymore?
It'd be interesting to see that replay. We get it, maybe not.
The ensuing kickoff right here.
Nice kick.
Nice kick right there over the reach of Chris Taylor. So this ball will not be returned.
Let's see if we get a wide angle of this. Yep. I think the quarterback thought he would continue to stay on the move in the back of the corner, and he tried to throw and hit him on the run, but instead the receiver said, listen, I'm wide open. Just throw it to me. That's miscommunication, tough one.
Slows the momentum just a bit, but defenders must be feeling a little bit better about things. Even though they're down big, I mean, at least they had a positive play here in the 3rd quarter.
Hey, they're still fighting. That's all that counts. Like you said, resiliency. It's important here.
And now a defensive stand is important. The defenders would like nothing more than a 3-and-out.
Oh, yeah.
By the Spartans. Cam Page will have something to say about that. Griffin Reynolds in motion. The give, it's another running play. Imagine at this point, too, running the clock down is obviously a big part of South Warren's game plan.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be super aggressive for the rest of the game. I think they'll be really conservative with play calling and making sure they're putting their quarterback in a position where he's making super smart throws. But you never know. I mean, these guys, they've been successful for a reason, so we'll see what they continue to lean on. I assume we're going to get a high dosage of runs, though.
Katie York turning those legs.
Got a
driving
flag.
the pile forward.
You got a holding call? Let's see. Came from the secondary. That ref threw that flag about 15, 20 yards. His arm.
He's a former quarterback.
Clearly. He came out of left field. Oh, face mask. Oh. Personal foul, face mask on the defense.
I'd imagine if South Warren keeps extending this score, how long are we going to see Cam Page for? Maybe we'll see Bell get some more reps, maybe?
Yeah.
I'd actually like that. I like the look of Chase Bell in the first half. Like you said, Colby, big guy. It's fun to watch. So 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line, excuse me. Handoff goes to Jamir Boards. He bounces outside.
You know, and going back to the whole Bell situation, it'll be interesting to see how they continue to groom him, give him opportunities to develop, because I don't think they're interchangeable, but they do both bring a very unique sort of element to the game. You know, Bell is obviously a prototypical pocket passer, so he's going to be very meticulous in terms of how he approaches a game with decision making. And then the quarterback that's currently in, like, he's a dual threat. He has tons of athleticism, so he can either beat you with his arm or leg. So
2nd and 8 from the 47, by the way. Page goes to the air, and he has Caden York open in the flats for a nice gain. So first down.
That's a pretty complex concept right there. You generally see it in the collegiate level. You have basically a post and then a rail route, which means the tailback is just sliding to the sideline. And normally it puts a lot of strain on the cornerback, who has to make a decision. Am I going to stay here with the receiver, or am I going to jump on that rail route? Typically, you don't see a linebacker recognize that, and they don't go with the tailback. So as long as the quarterback can go from 1-2, and then you'll have sort of an under route as your number 3 option, the quarterback has plenty of decisions to make to find an open receiver. So that's, I really like that.
He made a good decision there.
He did. He certainly did.
1st and 10 from Bryan Station 40, out into the flat to Tucker Sears, and Sears moves his way down for a gain of 10 or 11 yards.
Bryan Station got to make those open field tackles.
Good to see Sears back in the game. He left a little bit earlier feeling a little queasy, but he's back making plays and jogging off. He's got a lot of energy, clearly over whatever was ailing him before. 1st and 10 now from the Bryan Station 30.
Check with me, man-to-man. Will he go for a man-to-man beater, or is he going to go and try to run the football? I think he's going to take a shot.
3 wide receivers on the far side. Caden York flanked next to the QB in the backfield.
Nope.
And it's a QB keeper. Page made a proper choice there. Another first down. They're all the way down to the 15-yard line of Bryan Station. Clock running, 2:08 now left in the 3rd quarter.
South Warren right now is just giving us the entire playbook. I mean, we've seen a multitude of formations, motions, shifts, concepts, screens.
Certainly in a nice rhythm right now.
They are. They've done a fabulous job with play calling on the offense side of the ball.
And how hard does that make that for other teams as well, especially game 1 of the season?
Game 1 of the season. It's hard to predict and prepare when you don't know what type of player you're going to be facing. On top of that, what type of play calls you're going to have to encounter.
I will say that too presents a challenge though for South Warren. Now people can see this film, so now them going into game 2, they're going to have to step it up as well.
Yep. But you know, the good thing about this is you've already can see some of the wrinkles with the designs where trick plays are already sort of incorporated into the design of the play. Beautiful.
Screen pass to Caden York, and York works his way upfield, gets inside the Bryan Station 10-yard line.
So for instance, right here, you have a spread formation, you bring a motion, it gives the illustration as potentially going to be a pass. What do? They throw a screen on it.
Looks like that's Raymond Young down for Bryan Station, number 25, junior linebacker. He's limping off.
Think that's a cramp, Andre, or do you think, I mean, could it be a cramp?
I think it's a cramp.
Let's hope so.
Hey, it's hot out there. This Kentucky humidity.
He's walking gingerly, but he looks fine.
Yeah, doesn't look too serious. We'll keep tabs on him. He plays both sides of the ball as well. So, you know, he's been out there a lot.
Yeah. Plays a toll on the body after a certain amount of time.
So now 2nd and 1. That was a big chunky yardage, a gain of 14 on that last play. 2nd and 1 inside the Bryan Station 10-yard line. Page gives it again to York. York slides through one tackle.
Stop it.
Fights for another one and gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
Caden York, my goodness, that young man cannot be stopped tonight.
This guy, unbelievable.
5'8", 160 pounds. He's just slippery.
5'8" and mighty.
Yes.
I don't think I'm supposed to use the word great, but that was a great run.
You know what? I think anybody would agree that that was great.
That was a great run.
Wow, all right.
You know, this is the thing, though, Bryan Station was struggling with last year with just some of the hand tackling instead of the form and fundamentals of wrapping up and taking the defender or the offensive guy to the ground. You could tell after a while, you know, you start to get a little bit more lazy and lackadaisical. Hopefully, they kind of go back to the technicalities of wrapping up and sound form tackling.
You speak about the technicalities. I've seen practices time and time again, the little alligator wrap that these teams do. I watch those at practice and I'm like, I don't even know how you get into that. Here's a replay right here of Caden York just not being denied.
He has that Lattimore, if you remember from South Carolina. There's a lot of similarities in the way he just ran that football.
No better way to start your senior season either.
I have a feeling he's going to have a lot of trips to the end zone this season.
Yeah, that was nice. Good for him.
Got about 1:01 left here in the third quarter. South Warren leads 49-23.
As a defensive coordinator, JT Haskins has to be extremely upset by this. The fact that the opponents almost put a half a hundy on his team. Certainly going to be a lot of room to work here, but you know, he'll get back at it. I know he's a great coach and he'll work on it.
Yep. You know, I think probably the more frustrating part is you were actually in the game at halftime, and now it's just kind of blown open. You've imploded a little internally, and so how do you regroup? How do you get these guys to refocus and say, hey, we're going to continue to fight throughout the duration of this contest. Let's not give up.
That's scored by 15 points here in the third quarter alone, and it's gotten a little out of control.
It has.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't continue to watch.
That's right.
Because you never know what will happen. You'll see some great plays here in the second half. Will that sun be a factor at all in the passing game for these guys? I know it is for us trying to watch what's happening in the field.
It really just depends on angles.
Yeah.
For Bryan Station, no, I don't think it will.
All right, the handoff.
There it is.
Near side.
Oh, what a
that was
play.
Avery Johnson. Down by Isaiah Bridges.
Isaiah Bridges, incredible play. He's actually on the opposite side of the hashes. He follows the receiver and comes across the field and makes a sound tackle.
It's a lot of effort.
That is a lot of effort. Really nice play by that young man.
Yeah. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7 from the Bryan Station 42. Carpenter at quarterback.
They're in a condensed formation.
Handoff once again to Avery Johnson. He'll try the right side this time. And Joseph Fentress, I believe. Am I right? Yes.
Yes.
Joseph Fentress.
And that's the end of the third quarter right there, ending it with a boom. Here's a replay for you.
That was the play before.
Oh, there we go.
Nice effort by...
play Andre was talking about.
And then here's the one that we just saw.
33 fill this hole.
Oh, man.
22, that's gorgeous.
And that's the end of the third. South Warren, 49-23. Getting it done on both sides of the ball, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are.
That was an impressive quarter of football right there.
For South Warren,
yes.
Yeah, no doubt. The thing for Bryan Station, you can already see it on the sideline. There's a lot of frustration. The tempers are high. The players are getting upset. They're just going to have to stay composed and continue to chip away, find ways of just building some type of momentum. I know it's challenging, but hey, there's a long season ahead. So how do you continue to get better and improve? Well, take it one play at a time.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to head into a quick break here, and coming up after the break, we'll have some fourth quarter football for you.
This is the Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.
Welcome back here into our Fox 56 Home Team Showcase. We got South Warren versus Bryan Station. Spartans lead going into the fourth quarter, 49-23.
Bryan Station has the football at the 40-yard line. Carpenter rolling to his left and throws it down, incomplete.
Yeah, those are incredibly challenging passes. You're on the run to the left. You're feeling pressure. And then the defenders are absolutely glued to your receivers. So you have to make a pinpoint pass. And then on top of that, you're taking abuse every time you release the football. I mean, it's a testament to the quarterback. He's he's going to keep getting up and he's battling, but boy, he's going to feel it tomorrow.
And that brings up a 4th down, so the defenders will have to punt, trailing 49-23.
You know, I think at this point, Bryan Station should just open up the playbook. Like,
Riley Aller back to receive for the Spartans. He lets it bounce, and the defenders down it at about the 19-yard line.
yeah, going back to the playbook, I think the offense just needs to open it up. Like, are you going to come back? We don't know. But this is such an important time to continue to develop and improve as an offense and see what you're capable of doing for future reference. Why not?
Well, you're certainly not going to come back and just continue to run the football and get about 4 yards at a clip.
Yep. You have nothing to lose at this point.
Research. Just use it as research. Guess who's in at quarterback? Hey, he called for it. Chase Bell.
I knew he was coming.
Yeah. Chase Bell, number 19, back in. See what he can do now. Oh, botched handoff, and it's recovered by, it's still bouncing around. And it looks like Bryan Station may have pounced on it. Yes, indeed.
Hey, they do respond. We have seen that throughout the entirety of the game.
Well, it's interesting. That's how they got back into it in the first half, with a botched play by the Spartans and a giveaway that shouldn't have happened. And who knows? Stranger things have happened here.
And right there, that's absolutely on the quarterback. He doesn't get the ball into the tailback surface or in their stomach. They're pulling and they can't feel the football. Quarterback technically still has the football.
He had basically two mistakes on that one play.
He did, yep.
Botched handoff and failure to recover the football.
In that situation, just pull it and get what you can get back to the line of scrimmage.
Looks like we have an injury on the field.
It's a Bryan Station player. Hard to see his number from here. Number 53, that's Ethan Thomas, who's back up. Hobbling off. Looks like a right lower leg injury.
Cramping has seemed to be a problem here tonight, even on the sidelines. Bryan Station's Elijah Bojang, number 11, the senior wide receiver DB, also getting stretched out here on the sidelines.
So Bryan Station takes over with 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. There's the handoff. And he gets in for the touchdown. Kerwin Montgomery punching it in. And could this be just like the first half? A mistake by South Warren leads to a momentum shift, and then one play later, a touchdown, just like it happened in the second quarter.
Yep, and there's definitely more energy on this side from the fans, cheerleaders. It's good to see some energy on this home side.
Going to go for 2 to try to pull within 18.
If you can get this converted, it'll be a 2-score game.
Carpenter rushed, has a little room to the right, flings it into the end zone, but it's broken up by number 14 for South Warren.
There's a flag. It looks like it's on Bryan Station.
Corbin Logan.
Here's the replay right here.
Chop against the defenders.
Montgomery doing a great job of fighting through a wall of defenders, just nose for the end zone.
Kickoff game day with the home team. Join Peyton Hinkle and Tyler Melito every Friday morning at 8 a.m. as they visit local schools and bring the energy alongside student sections, cheer squads, marching bands, and football teams at your local schools. Start your game day the right way with the home team only on the Fox 56 Morning News, Fridays at 8.
They do a great job with our home team Friday night's kickoff coverage. They have so much fun. Every once in a while, you've joined them.
I was about to say, well, I've gone one time, and that might be my last because getting up at 4 a.m. is certainly not for me, but I had an absolute blast. I was sprinting in the gym, doing a whole flag thing. It was great.
You realized how much muscle it takes to wave the flag back and forth,
I
right?
was nervous I was going to fall, but we made it work.
Here's the ensuing kickoff. And it's taken out to the 30-yard line.
We're actually, speaking of, we're going to send it down to Peyton Hinkle and Tyler Melito, who are joined by the Bryan Station cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, guys, we've had a lot of fun out here. We have some of the seniors from Bryan Station's cheer squad. Macy, it is the first football game of the season. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm most excited for having a good senior year and having the best of friends with me cheering with me.
And I was going to say, what makes this group so special? Seniors, y'all been doing this for a long, long time. What are you going to miss most about this group?
I'm going to miss the connection that we have, and we all have a great leadership, and we all just bring the energy.
All right, you guys have a quick little cheer for us before they start play again. Take it away.
Let's go Station! Let's go Station! Let's go Station! Let's go!
Colby, Paul, Andre, we'll send things back up to you.
Thanks, guys, and great stuff from the Defenders cheer squad. They've been great all game long.
Peyton and Tyler, they just fit in with the high school crowd, don't they? I mean, they're
because they're
youthful
youngsters at heart.
and excited and young at heart. Exactly. They make it fun.
No, they're the perfect duo.
Back to the game.
Dare I say, momentum.
Looks like we got Cam Page back in the game.
11 minutes to go.
Is he going to continue to run the ball and try to milk the clock, or is he going to do some type of play action?
Oh, look at
that
this.
type of hole.
York busting one up the middle and then finally brought down inside the 30-yard line. How does he have that much energy? He plays both ways.
Unreal.
And yet he still looks like it's the first quarter.
I told you I need his endurance. I'm waiting for the MVP chance to come on.
That was exhilarating, that run right there. It's like a York peppermint patty.
Yeah.
Sorry
Party
about that.
with the
You know
Red
I was going to get that in somewhere. The wind blowing through my hair. The wind blowing through Caden's helmet. All right, first and 10 at the 28. A quick response, perhaps, from South Warren. And the clock does continue to run. We're under 10 minutes now.
You can go on the field, get in your face.
You know, South Warren really has a cable. They really have like several different players that they can rely on for all types of situational positions.
No doubt. They have speed and skill guys at running back, speed and skill guys at wide receiver.
They really do. Great depth, dynamic players, really smart.
Well, this is a team, you know, that went 8-4 last year and has every skilled player returning this year. So really the only thing that Brandon Smith sounded somewhat worried about is he said they were young up front, but they're opening up some nice holes for Mr. York. Flag on the play. There have been less flags in the second half, I will say that. There have been some, but less than the first half, it feels like. So we got that going for us.
Brings the ball back to the 31-yard line.
Ball back to the 31-yard line now. Second and 13. Page gets the instructions from Mr. Smith, Coach Smith over on the sideline, and here we go. He's going to give it once again. This time, handoff to number 26. Jamir Boards once again. We're now under 9 minutes to go.
All right, so they got to get a stop.
Clock is beginning. Oh. A player for Bryan Station just collapsed on the field, and I'm not sure what happened.
Tapping his left leg there. Maybe another cramp.
Seems to be a good guess. It looks like they're stretching it. Did you ever experience cramping in a game?
I have experienced cramping, but that looked. Anyways, yeah, interesting.
Tune in every Friday night at 10:30 for Home Team Friday Nights. Join me alongside Jordan Adams and Connor Sturgill as we bring you all the biggest plays, game-winning moments, and can't miss highlights from across the Bluegrass. We've got complete coverage from the field to the sidelines on Fox 56.
Yeah, going back to the kid who just fell down. You know, one of the things you have to pay real close attention to now in this era of football is the fabricated falling down of injuries.
Right.
Because they're trying to get them, the referees, to stop the clock.
Yep.
You know, we just saw the gentleman trying to get back in the game say, no, I'm actually fine now that they've called the whistle and the play's about to start again. I feel like that's a component of the game they have to find a way to remove. But
we've seen that kind of on every level, too, not just here on the high school level.
High school, college.
Quarterback keep right there, Cam Page. Ooh.
Page, you know, again, super athletic, has tons of ability. He's got to find a way to protect himself. He's taking these hits like chest level, and these guys are exposing him, and he's creating a lot of vulnerabilities in terms of increasing risk from getting injured if he continues to allow his upper body to be exposed like that. He has to find a way to lower that shoulder or avoid the contact when the defender gets near.
It's interesting to me how some quarterbacks are very aware of those things and some aren't.
Yep.
Even in the NFL, you see that. Some aren't. Hey, rolling to his right. Firing to the sideline, and it's overthrown.
Oh.
But another flag on the play.
Let's see that replay. I think that was an inadvertent trip. We'll see if he changes the call. He might pick this one up. Picking it up.
Called it. There you go.
All right, we'll see what Bryan Station does with football now.
I will say, I want to talk about JT Haskins a little bit more. Andre, you can probably attest to this, but having a coach that you can relate to that cares much more about you beyond just the football field. He's grew up in these same neighborhoods with these kids. He's been in their shoes, so I think the connection he also has goes way beyond the football field, which is super cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, the game goes beyond, you know, the gridiron.
Oh, Carpenter intercepted right there. Just another killer turnover for the defenders. Yeah, that's cool. Corbin Logan with the INT right there for South Warren.
Just tough overall for the defenders to close out the game this way.
He's throwing into heavy coverage there, too.
He is. You know, you have to see downfield. Sometimes it's challenging, and I recognize that. But, you know, it looks like there's 3 defenders in that vicinity. And he's got a clean pocket. Look, I mean, there's
he tried
double coverage right there.
There's 2 guys in that area.
Yeah.
Don't force it. But again, those are learning pains. He'll just have to. Those are teachable moments.
There's Mr. Boards again up the middle.
Oh my goodness.
Andre, how much of that is frustration, would you say, especially with the way that this game has gone?
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. And the thing that I would be concerned about is if I'm a coach is how much does that start to affect his decision-making and performance moving forward. There needs to be a coach over there in his ear and just kind of encourage him and providing positive reinforcement because, hey, you know, not every game is going to be great, and quarterbacks do make mistakes like anyone else, but he is the leader. He's, you know, probably the most important position out there in terms of a person who touches the ball every single play. So you need him to feel like, you know, he can continue to perform on a high level. And if he doesn't do that, like, for example, today with 3 turnovers, and he's going to start to feel down. He's going to start to hear a lot of the people criticize his game. So, you know, the other players need to really pick him up and let them know that, you know, they're there to support him. But this is going to be, it's going to be a really difficult thing to process, and hopefully he's able to regroup and have a better week of practice and then go into next week and have a solid performance.
Oh, that was George Kibawa with the run right there. First time calling his name tonight. Back to your point, though, Andre, about kind of like shaking it off and having a good week of practice and for a little amnesia. How easy was that for you as a player? I mean, I'm assuming you occasionally had some tough moments that you wanted to kind of move on from.
It's tough. It's tough. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you're probably your worst enemy. You know, you self-critique every aspect of your game, and when you don't live up to your expectations, obviously you make it challenging for yourself, and you don't want to really hear from many people. But hey, you know, you got to have a short-term memory. He's got to be able to bounce back from this. Oh, drop pass. And hopefully he's able to do that. You know, he has the right support system around him. It looks like a bunch of the players are trying to encourage him, saying it's okay, you know. But it's going to be tough. There's no doubt about it.
That last play was butterfingers from start to finish. Page couldn't handle the snap. And Griffin Reynolds couldn't make the catch. Probably should have.
I'm surprised to see South Warren still throwing the football. But then again, hey, this is a great time to get experience for your first time starting quarterback.
Another flag on the play. Referees confer. It's offsides on
Still be
Still moving forward 5 yards. Instead of 3rd and 9, it's 3rd and 4.
It is positive on the sidelines over here. You got C.J. Carpenter and 2 of his offensive linemen. At least the communication is there. You definitely, as a coach, could appreciate that.
Yeah, that's great.
Another running play. George Kibawa has finally spelled Caden York, it appears. And I think Caden deserves the rest of the game off.
Absolutely. Well-deserved break for him.
Oh, he's back in now. You're right. There we go. So you know what? I'd like another touchdown.
Right.
What's one more?
One athlete in their stable of players.
Absolutely.
I wonder if he's even sore like the next day.
After this win? I highly doubt it.
Probably not at his age, yeah. Here we go. York again up the middle. Gain of about 5.
Oh.
And he gets the first down.
4:44 left to go in this one. South Warren up by 20. And you kind of look around the stadium. That LCA blue is certainly all coming in. That matchup with the Eagles and North Hardin coming up.
Clock ticking. South Warren in no hurry whatsoever. York next to Page. The give to York. Hesitation, cuts outside, a little spin move, and then fights his way down to about the 7-yard line. That was a nice effort, but we're not surprised at this point, knowing what we know about Mr. York. Look at the replay here. He did a great job. Spin move. Great. Coming up right.
Outstanding.
Always for a running back, you want that lower body strength, and he could get low and get downfield. You love to see that.
He starts low.
Yeah, he does. And ends low, too.
And ends low.
Yep. I love the physicality of his game.
He must be great at the limbo. He is. All right. See if they can punch it in. Under 4 minutes now. Boards gets it down to about the 4.
Jamir Boards on the carry. First down and goal. Just inside the 5-yard line.
First and goal. Boards up the middle. Touchdown! South Warren yet again into the end zone. You can put it on the boards.
Yep. Outstanding performance by South Warren. First game back. First year starting quarterback after the three-year consecutive starting quarterback departs, and they seamlessly don't drop a beat. They looked really good today, obviously in all phases of the game. A couple opportunities I thought they could have done a little bit better in terms of execution, but in general, really, really great job by that team.
It's going to be fun for them to look at the game film.
Very fun, and they take full advantage of being in the red zone. You haven't seen them miss many of those opportunities, which is how teams win, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, well, we've been talking about it all game long. Who is our player of the game going to be in this first matchup here? Let's check it out. Who's it going to be?
The player of the game is sponsored by Aptiva Health Orthopedics.
Well, Paul and Andre, I think we know that answer. This young man, we have not stopped saying his name, Caden York, the senior running back DB on both sides of the ball, just doing it all, cannot be denied. What a performance from him tonight in game one of not just the season, but also his senior year.
All we can hear is the program.
Yeah, he looked really fluid tonight, made some incredible plays, capitalized on opportunities, catching, running, even on the defense side of the ball. Outstanding performance by a young man.
How vital do you think he's going to be down the stretch for this South Warren football team?
I think he's going to be a critical piece for their overall success. I think what we'll continue to see is they're going to find a variation of ways to get the ball in his hands. And so we have an incredible season in the making.
Yes, he doesn't he doesn't even look tired. He's just just walking down the sidelines, no deep breath, no sweat, just.
That's a pregame I saw, right?
I mean, my goodness, what a player they've got in South Warren.
15 from here.
They were going, hey,
going 3.
You're the player of the game.
The camera is on you. Act cool.
Number 6.
Don't do anything bad. That was it. Yeah, you're right, Colby. That was an easy decision tonight.
Yeah. I don't know who else you would give it to there. A lot of good plays, but he's a standout player for sure.
Sun working its way down here just beyond this wonderful stadium at Lexington Christian Academy. We have 3:07 to go to put the finishing touches on the first game of our doubleheader on the home team showcase. There's Avery Johnson still trying to make plays out there for the Defenders, and he did a good job on that play. Big run there, still having the speed. He's another low running back too. I mean, he's, I don't know, let's check his height. He can't be that tall. Let's see, 5'7". He's shorter than Caden York.
I love his versatility. I mean, again, he made some really difficult catches earlier, some amazing runs right there, kind of wiggled his way through that massive line. And he just has explosive acceleration. Just got to continue to find ways to get him the ball in space.
It'd be nice to see Brian Station punch it in again here before this game's over, just to end on a nice positive note. Handoff. Doesn't get it done there. Gain of about 2. Johnson again.
And you like to see it from Johnson, obviously a senior, so showing these younger guys that, hey, we might be down by a lot, but the fight's still going to be there. So you like to see him kind of setting the standard and expectation for this Bryan Station team.
We'll have our play of the game coming up shortly. In the meantime, though, 2:24 to go. Another handoff up the middle for about another 3, maybe 4 yards.
Avery Johnson on the carry, brought down again by Grayson Moore. 3-yard gain, 3rd and 7.
Under 2 minutes now. It's 3rd and 7 for the Defenders from the 22-yard line. Another handoff to Williams, and he busts up the right side. Can he get to the end zone? Yes, he can. Avery Johnson. Nice.
I'm telling you, this kid's special.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Did you say you saw a flag, Andre?
I did, but no, we picked it up.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, Avery Johnson, I mean, he has all the attributes. He can catch, he can run, he can kick return. Imagine he does punt return. I don't think we've seen many punts this game, but I mean, the kid is really gifted.
Trying to get the 2-point conversion right there.
Avery Johnson on the carry.
And speaking of do it all, I feel like to make that step to the next level, coaches look at that to see that you can do a bunch of different positions. I feel like that'll be super beneficial for him. All right, well, we had our player of the game, and we've had a lot of great plays throughout this game, but there only can be one. Let's check out who's taking this one home.
Here's your play of the game.
If you like pinball, this is your kind of play.
Andy's Frozen Custard.
Of course, you guys, come on, it's going to Jake Carter, number 1 out of South Warren. The tip pass to himself. You think he playing that one?
Probably not.
Maybe that was that trick play that Andre was talking about they were going to get, because my goodness, just stayed with it, the focus, and then to take this one to the house. Big time stuff from the senior. Take a look at it here again.
Boink, boink. Thank you.
Maybe a Sports Center top 10. Maybe we need to.
That's right. That's right.
It's when everything is falling in your favor.
Yep.
Kickoff. Look at that. It stops at about the 4-yard line. Got to pick it up and do something with it now. And oh boy. Oh boy.
Got about 1:41 left in this ball game.
Keon Johnson on the tackle that buries the Spartans deep in their own territory.
Fun environment so far, that's for sure. Now the Friday night lights are really coming down here. Nice little sunset for us.
Yeah, it's nice. Some of the North Hardin players trickling in the background.
Shout out to our great crew, by the way, down on the field. Very hot earlier in the day, and they did a great job of running up and down the sidelines and manning the cameras. We appreciate all their efforts.
Absolutely.
Possible safety, folks? Did we get a safety? No. Could we get a 99-yard touchdown? No.
Jamir Boards on the carry. Brought down by
I would imagine if they get one first down, they're going to go and just nail it from that point forward.
The victory stance is probably the best play in football, right?
Absolutely.
Most gratifying.
Victory formation.
Andre, you've done a lot of those.
A couple under my belt.
Good problem to have. Are you guys surprised to see that Cam Page is still in the ballgame with 50 seconds to go?
Well, I'm wondering if Chase Bell might have been nicked up at all on that one play, and maybe that's why, or I'm not sure.
Well, also on to our next game as well. We've got North Hardin, who has entered onto the field, getting ready for their game against the host, Lexington Christian Eagles. Andre, close one for you. Your alum team is here.
Listen, I'm excited. I can't wait to see them perform. This is the first time I get a chance to watch them in over 2 decades.
Oh, wow.
Is that right? Oh, my goodness.
That's
you know what, though?
My age.
At least you've been sending all those donations to the school. That's all they really care about.
I'm excited to see them perform.
2 seconds to go, and we've hit 0. The final score, South Warren 56, Bryan Station 35. It's time for the handshake line.
Well, this game was still super fun from start to finish, I have to say. I know the score doesn't always reflect that when you look at that, but hey, especially this first half, that was a fun one. And then, you know, just to see the fight in Bryan Station as a coach, that's really all you can ask for, is just to continue to see some spark in your team. So overall, collectively, I think that was a good way for us to not just kick off the high school season, but our Fox 56 showcase.
I think the handshake line is a nice touch, too.
Absolute sportsmanship. It's all about that at the end of the day.
Yeah, you watch pro ball and you never see it or rarely see it. NBA games, for example, they just
Sprint
all walk
to the
off
locker
the court.
room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Well, we got some station fans rolling out of here, but like I said, the blue is coming on in.
We'll hear shortly from the winning head coach, Brandon Smith, and there'll also be a trophy presentation that they'll show perhaps during that interview, where they'll be presented with the ecampus.com Bowl trophy, which I'm sure they'll appreciate putting up in their trophy chest somewhere.
Hey, trophy in the first game, I would take it.
That's nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looks like that presentation. We're going to get ready for our interview here soon. All right, and we're actually going to send it down to the field. Connor Sturgill is joined by our winning coach, Coach Brandon Smith.
Thanks, Colby. Coach, an impressive first win. You said at halftime, you know, you all are kind of beating yourself and you clean those things up. How do you think your team responded to that message?
I mean, I don't feel like we fixed it. You know, I mean, to me, this is a typical young team first game where we just have all kinds of mistakes. I mean, both sides, it works both ways. So, I mean, hopefully, usually you make the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. You know, hopefully that's the case.
And you said it's a young team, but, you know, they did a lot of good things despite some of those penalties that you didn't like. But what did this game show you about your team going forward?
I think, you know, they responded every time we had to respond. You know, we were able to run the ball, you know, put drives together when we had to, get the ball in the end zone. We just got to cut out the silly mistakes.
Okay. South Warren used to very big games, but, you know, first time they played on a live TV audience. How are those guys respond? How has this been for you and the team being in the showcase?
Yeah, I think the guys, honestly, were a little bit nervous, even our veterans that have done it before. But, you know, again, I think it could be first game jitters, but it was a great experience, great bowl. Really enjoyed it.
All right, well, great win. Coach, good luck the rest of the season. Congrats. Go host that trophy. Thank you. Colby, back to you.
Thanks so much, Connor, and congrats, as you said, to Coach Smith on the win. Well, there you go right there. Jordan Haskins, coach's son, getting a plaque. Still had a great performance. And then also, here comes the host team, the Lexington Christian Eagles, entering the field. We've got some fans standing, giving them a round of applause. In the student section, guys, check out here down to our left. They're already standing up. Got a long night ahead for them.
They're ready to go. You're right. They've waited a long time for this. We just got handed the final quickie statistics from this South Warren Bryan Station game, and the numbers that jump out to me immediately are the rushing yards differential. 239 for South Warren, just 93 for Bryan Station. And total yards, 528 for the Spartans, 221 for the Defenders.
And here we go. He's not just our player of the game, but he's also the offensive player of the game. Caden York smiling as he should from ear to ear with that type of performance.
Nice.
I would be too. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got to get the celebration.
Matt Montgomery from ecampus.com doing the honors, presenting the hardware after this one. There you see him. And there's the trophy.
And here comes the celebration. You love to see it.
He's holding it too high for Caden York. He can't reach it.
They should be lifting him up.
Yes, that's right. Well, congratulations to the Brandon Smith and company. Definitely had a good fall camp. Clearly came into this one prepared, and it showed in the final score.
In that interview, he talked about cleaning up the mistakes. You always see those, but his team performed pretty well.
Outscored Bryan Station by 10 in that second half. Took an 11-point halftime lead and ends up winning by 21.
All right, well, Andre and Paul, kind of send it back to you guys, the experts here, on just recapping this game as a whole. Started off fun, momentum back and forth. We got the highlights rolling right here. Overall thoughts on the game from both of you?
Yeah, I thought South Warren, again, had a lot of physicality. They started off strong and assertive and really made good decision-making, got on the board quick, tried to prevent a lot of sustained drives for Bryan Station. Really smart in terms of not making mental errors, at least in the initial first quarter and a half. And then Bryan Station was able to capitalize on a couple of mistakes, but in general, South Warren was just too much.
This was a great touchdown right here. One of the nice moments for Bryan Station tonight. That was Avery Johnson getting in for one of his touchdowns tonight. He ended up with that one rushing and also one pass receiving.
Well, that's going to be a wrap on our very first game, South Warren versus Bryan Station. And when we come back, we'll have more football for our Fox 56 Home Team Showcase.